Yeah.
You need one.
Two people right there.
Maybe in.
Yeah, approved.
Sorry.
Three from there.
And then admit or both of them. Absolutely.
He's on
Here, absolutely.
for what?
For the email. Did you send the email yet?
No, not yet,
No,
because
not
we
yet.
need to
Oh,
get
okay.
started with stuff. All right, it is 6:30, so we need to go ahead and get started. Noted.
Can you hear us? You're mute.
Are we recording?
You're on mute.
All right. Notice is hereby given that a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of San Diego, Texas will be held on Thursday, August 14th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. at City Hall 22870 Priest Road at San Diego, Texas, where a quorum of the City Council will be present. All agenda items are subject to action. You can join the meeting online at the Zoom and with the meeting ID presented in the posted agenda. The public will be permitted to offer public comments in person, telephonically, or by audio as provided by the agenda and as permitted by the presiding officer during the meeting by signing up with the city secretary at least 15 minutes in advance of the meeting, if providing comments in person in at least 2 hours in advance of the meeting, by emailing the city secretary or by calling City Hall if speaking telephonically or by audio. An audio recording of this meeting will be made and will be available to the public in accordance with the Texas Public Information Act upon written request. City Secretary, can we have a call to order and a quorum call, please?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem, Madero, I'm sorry.
Here.
Alderman CJ Walker.
Here.
Alderman Tremblay. Alderman Rapino. Alderman Bellinger.
Here.
City Secretary is here, City Attorney's here, and the mayor is in Zoom.
All right, let's all rise for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible. Thank you.
Citizens to be heard. People wishing to speak may sign up with the city secretary in the time and manner indicated above. This time is provided for citizens to address the city council on issues and concerns related to the city of San Diego. Please note that the Texas Open Meeting Act prohibits the city council from responding, commenting, or discussing items or topics during the portion of the meeting that are not included on the agenda. The city council appreciates hearing from the citizens, and your thoughts and questions are valued. However, civility and a sense of decorum will be strictly followed. All speakers must address their comments to the city council. Speakers shall refrain from public criticism of members of the city council that is prohibited by law. This item will be open for up to 30 minutes with 3 minutes to each speaker. One person may speak on behalf of a group. Up to 3 people may register on behalf of the group for the spokesperson to be allotted up to 9 minutes to speak. If there are more than 10 speakers, each will be given 2 minutes or 6 minutes for a group spokesperson. We have 2 folks signed up. Terry Reagan, do you want to speak now or it's your agenda item, sir?
The agenda.
All right, Lamar McNeil.
Evening, Council Chief. I'm just following back up from the issue from February, of the property next to mine, two Pepper Canyon Drive. That back in February, it was supposed to be like a 30-day thing when we were gonna clean that lot up. There's nobody living there. Still got an unregistered, box truck, makeshift box truck, 18-wheeler. Put it up right to my property. I get to look at it every time I go sit out on the porch to relax. And I was told it was gonna be about 30 days and then action was gonna be taken. There's also a junk car there. And then, got a dilapidated building with mattresses in it and seeing raccoons living out of, and they're coming over in our place. So I think y'all got my emails. If I could just get an update of what's going on, I'd appreciate it. Or give me a call. I think I've been up here plenty of times to address this, and I just want to know what's going on. If nothing's gonna happen and I gotta suck it up and live with it, let me know. But there's been silence. I haven't heard anything since, back in the February days. And another thing is that I volunteered to sign up for the police thing, so if there's some kind of training I need to take for that board, I'd be happy to do that. Just reach out to me with an email or phone call or let me know. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Chief, did you have the information for him to volunteer for the Citizens Input Review Board?
I can get that information for him.
I have some. But I'll cover that when we get to CCN.
All right, yeah, that is an agenda item, so we've got more detail on that. And then those are the only few signed up to speak. So we will move on to the mayor, and administrative announcements. So, as Mayor Pro Tem, I don't have any, but our mayor is online. The item he has on here listed under mayor and administrative items is a presentation from the VIA Metropolitan Transit Authority. So, Mayor, did you have anything to say before we move to that, or was that your item for the mayor's assistance?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
You're muted, sir. Hold on. We need sound, please.
Oh, he's the one that's got control of that, because he's,
You're muted, sir.
No, I'm not.
No, he's not muted. No.
Wait just a second. See where it says leave.
okay.
All right. With that said, while they try and figure things out, VIA, I'm assuming that's you all with the VIA on your name, on your shirt there. So, with that, we'll go ahead and let you speak. Yes, if you turn on, there's a button on the side, there'll be a green light on it to indicate,
They have.
yes, sir, and that's it. That way we can get your recording so that the citizens that come back later to hear this can also hear our presentation. Please
Oh, okay, thank
introduce
you.
yourself and begin.
Sure.
Thanks, Melanie.
You don't hear me now?
Yeah, there we go. Did you have anything to add, or can we just move on with the VIA stuff and then come back to you after they're done, sir?
10-4.
Excellent. How you all doing? My name is Tom Marks, the Vice President of Government Affairs and Community Engagement for the Metropolitan Transit. A couple of weeks ago, we met with the mayor because, I think most of y'all may remember at one point, we did a pilot program for some service a couple of years ago. So really quickly, we wanted to just kind of run through some of the, service benefits of being with via Metropolitan Transit, service costs and value, and then, but really want to hit on some future service options, and then the financial investment that we'll be making with each other. So obviously, this is a more in a more rural part of our service area, and but with the growth in the county, we're bringing forward for y'all, I think a pretty aggressive path to a large amount of service, because there's a lot of job opportunities, growing out in this area of the county. So, transit helps connect economic opportunities, independence for seniors and the disabled. It helps support local economies, and then, provides affordable mobility options. This slide right here, we kind of have a snapshot of the service today. As you can tell, it's, we don't have any direct bus route service. The closest bus stop is 7.2 miles away, but the routed service is just one of many options, service options that we provide. But we did include on here that, as a member city, the federal government distributes formula funds, and that's where they have a set formula of what those funds can be used for. $5310 is the code underneath, for a certain formula for, more rural areas for busing. And so you qualify for those funds as a member city with via Metropolitan Transit. I'm going to quickly jump. This is our via train service, our paratransit service. It's the seniors and disabled, you have to opt in, because we did have service here. There are currently 8 users of our service in here. They were grandfathered into that program from the prior service. But it's, and so of course, those are the, that's, for, with the disabled folks there, it's, it ends up being a curb to curb Right now, they do have to travel closer to our service area to receive that. But I'm gonna touch on that later on an actual curb to curb service that we're proposing for Sandy Oaks. As you remember, this slide, we just wanted to remind everybody, we did a pilot program with our Uber-like service, the Via Link service, which is, you call it, it would come out here, pick you up, and then deliver you to the Brooks Transit Center. And so that was, we provided that service for about a year. We were hoping to grow that ridership. But it's, the last 3 months, we only averaged about 98 passengers in that entire 3-month period. So at a certain point, we discontinued it. But like I said, with the growth in this area, we're the next slide is talking about future service options. So when you couple the pilot program that we did with the Via Link and as well the rural busing formula programs, we actually want to propose the formula funds for the rural busing program. We could start immediately. It won't cost you anything extra than what you currently allocate to us today. And that's one of the benefits of being one of the member cities. And then as well, we're going to expand our Via Link program to a southeast zone. And so we're proposing a satellite service back again to Sandy Oaks that will connect to that entire zone. Again, to bring that program back, and that again will cost nothing extra than what Sandy Oaks currently allocates to us right now. I'm going to hand it over really quickly to Mario Llano. He's been working with the Alamo Area Council of Governments on the rural busing program. So he's just going to run through a couple.
Good evening. As he mentioned, my name
Can
is.
you put that microphone on, just a second on here, so we can make sure that. Yeah, we're ready. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, as you mentioned, my name is Mario Llano, and I'm government relations specialist for VIA. So I spoke with Alamo Area Council of Governments. I spoke with their director of the regional transit program, and they have 3 options that they offer. One is a route system where they actually send a bus to schedule to come out and they pick folks up. They have the micro transit link, which is similar to our link service, which is like an Uber type program where you would, it's an app, you would put it on your phone, you reach out to them, they come and pick you up and take you to where you need to go. They also have the advanced demand response which requires a 24-hour appointment scheduling. So I also, if you'll see on this slide here, it gives you some of the pricing for some of that. It is a one-way trip bus fare prices. So in town with Sandy Oaks, it would run you $2. In the same county, if you stayed in Bear County, it would run you $6. If you're one county over and you decide you're going to go into Atascosa, it would run you $8. And if you were looking at going 2 counties over, it would run you $12. When we had spoken with the mayor, he had mentioned that he might be interested in working on the advanced demand response, which requires a 24-hour notice. So the person that would be needing this service would call 24 hours in advance of their appointment, schedule the time for them to come out, and then they would pick that person up the next day and take them to where they need to go.
Sure. On these, the one-way trip bus fares, you take in town and then same county. So in town, you're talking about Sandy Oaks. So if you're going to San Antonio, it's $6.
Yes.
Each way.
But so yeah, in an effort, if you look to the next one, yeah, I mean, this is the fare structure so the Alamo Area Council of Governments, we work with them as part of, they help provide the vehicle. We help provide the funds. And so any partner city can receive this service. with VIA. Well, in fact, non-partner cities can receive the same service as well too. They just have to pay the portion that that we would pay for our partner cities. So if you flip to this page, in order to run that program through the Alamo Area Council of Governments, that would be an annual cost of $229,717. You do not have to pay any of that because you're a partner city with VIA. We will pay for all of that through the formula funds that we receive. And you simply would, your citizens would simply pay the fare, the $2 or the $6. Now, we also have on here the VIA Link satellite service. That would be an annual cost of about $60,000 to us. And that wouldn't cost you anything extra than what you already allocate to us. But it's that's $1.30. And so you could call it, they could pick you up at your front door, or a designated place within the city if we want to choose that route, and it'll take you all the way in to the Brooks Transit Center where you can connect to all the rest of our service, and we don't charge a transfer fee. So the $1.30 that you pay when you get on that VIA Link, you could go all the way to the medical center, or to Stone Oak, or anywhere within our service area, all for $1. And so these are that VIA Link zone that would be connected is going to launch on November 3rd. And so we can start supplying that service to you on November 3rd. We can start the on-demand service through the Alamo Area Council of Governments immediately if you would like to do that.
Now, can we, as a city, take advantage of the VIA Link satellite service when it becomes available and still maintain the advanced
Yes.
response service
You
that
can
the
have-
mayor
yeah.
talked about?
You can have both of them. Yeah. That's not an issue. And again, both of those would be, so this financial summary or proposed financial summary is, we obviously, we appreciate our partner cities. And so we wanted to show, as all partner cities come in, pool money together, and then to provide our service, we want to give you the big bang for the buck. So, what your annual allotment is would say that we will provide service above and beyond. And so that's what we're here to talk to you about. And again, we can, we can start right away, one right after the start of the fiscal year.
All right, so do we have any questions from the council members?
We did just want to, we do have a last slide. We talked with the mayor whether or not we wanted to keep it. He thought it would be good. There is a state statute that, as a partner city, if you did want to, elect it to leave, any debt that we incurred while we were providing service, even if it was, somewhat limited, the portion of our service area population that you are, so the 5,500 in Sandy Oaks, you're responsible for that portion of the debt. And so, but the good thing is that we want to provide a service to you that's roughly 6 times what you give to us. So there would be, if you wanted to leave, there would be a $2.4 million debt obligation. But we think a service 6 times what your annual allotment is. We would appreciate it if you stayed with us.
You made a statement, expand to southeast service earlier. What does that mean?
So our VIA Link service is our Uber-like service. It's done through a zone area. So essentially, from up near, near 410 and near St. Vincent, Mexico, for those that are fun.
Oh,
Rigsby. So up near 410 and Rigsby is the northernmost part, and then it actually comes all the way down to and takes in Brooks Authority. So that's a roughly 10 square mile area. Well, that's a new VIA Link zone that we're launching on November 3rd. And so that would be you would be a satellite of that. And so you could use the exact same application, app that everybody uses to hail that. And it'll come out here to Sandy Oaks, pick you up, and then connect you to our service area.
And when does that start?
November 3rd. So we've already incorporated that annual payment into our budget for VIA. And so we would start that service on November 3rd.
I have another question.
Sure.
If we chose to not, if we chose to withdraw from service,
Mhm.
$2,421,378. Would that be immediately due? Would you continue to collect sales tax until that's covered?
Yeah, it could be done that way,
So, and again, just me. If we withdraw from your service and get zero service.
Right.
Yeah, it would only take us 4 years to pay that off at the sales tax, current sales tax.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm somewhat offended at your statement. Service, although limited, because, yeah, we had the handicap service, which is countywide. Even though, especially there, we had 1 year of service that you say you can't suspect. So out of 50 years, we've had 1 year limited. However, Tom, I'm going to advocate we stay with VIA because I don't see any win in cancel the service, put that $60,000 in the city coffers, and never be able to look forward to any service at this time. So.
Well, the growth in the area is only going to bring more people, which means more service. I wasn't I've been with VIA a little less than 3 years, so I wasn't here during the pilot program. I much prefer a carrot to a stick. So we even, we considered whether or not to include that slide, but we wanted to be transparent and give you all the information possible, but.
Well, we would have had to have that information.
Right, exactly.
I like the fact that in a public meeting, we can now refer people to the recording of why don't we, and they can look at the results of.
Sure, and if anybody needs, we're happy to provide this presentation electronically if anybody needs it, so.
All right, thank you very much.
Sure.
Yes, please, send that to the mayor electronically. If he
Absolutely.
doesn't already have it. Third question?
One more, so as it stands now, the VIA service that you provide, it's not door to door.
No, the VIA train service, it runs essentially a 3/4 of a mile off of our service area. So the closest bus stop is 7.2 miles. So while there are users of that service, they do have to travel, in order to
Where
take
they
it.
pick up from.
Well, for the VIA Trans, they have to travel into our service area to use it. If we, with the VIA Link Zone on November 3rd, we can designate a digital stop. So it won't actually be like a flagpole in the ground. It's, you essentially hail it and it'll meet you there the same way that you do with an Uber or a Lyft.
Just anywhere in the town.
Yes. So we designate digital stops.
So maybe at the shops, or maybe at.
All right,
the-
so
Right.
there's specified locations. that
Yeah, and we can have more than one.
Transportation would stop within the town and the individual can pick which of those locations they wanted to meet the transportation.
And then they would get picked up there and then taken into the VIA Link service area where they can either, we now are Brooks Transit Center. They can either go there, they can go anywhere within the 10 square miles of that VIA Link zone. connect to any of the services that they want.
Brooks, where is the actual service area?
It's just inside Southwest Military on the, what's the, yeah, New Braunfels, sorry.
So that's the trip that would be $1.30 to go from anywhere in town that you've designated to that transit authority is $1.30. If they choose to go somewhere else in town, it's $6, correct?
No. So on on the Via Link service, once they pay that $1.30, they get to the Brooks Transit Center and they want to use our routed service or something else. We don't charge a transfer fee. So they would go all the way on to their destination on $1.30.
But that Via Link would then only take them to that Brooks. If they wanted to do a different location within San Antonio, they would need to use that other 24-hour call-ahead service.
Yeah, they can, because the Brooks Transit Center is in our larger service area, they can transfer to any of our services within.
But what if they didn't want to go to Brooks and transfer? It's the point I'm trying to get.
Then, right, yeah,
They're running to the airport.
Well, they could take 2 or 3 trips, 2 or 3 different of our services for $1.30, or you're right, they could go with this service and pay $6.
Yeah, most people taking a couple bags on a plane or
Right.
they want direct service. So
Exactly.
they have that option to pay the $6.
Yes,
If we go with that option that the mayor had spoken with you about previously.
Right.
But then they have to schedule it each time,
yes.
and they'll bring them back up.
Mhm.
And that just requires a call ahead 24 hours in advance.
Right, just as scheduled.
You can call 48 hours though if you want to, and you know well, and you want to make sure that you've got that thing taken care of.
Yes, yeah, it's just a minimum of 24 hours
Minimum 24
before, right?
Okay. So, any questions, one way or the other, nothing, how we do? Mayor Martinez, did you have anything?
Not related to Via.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank
Please
you.
go ahead and send that on to the mayor and we will discuss it and we'll
Awesome.
get back to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, appreciate it.
Mayor, did you have anything else under your items before we move on to item 12D?
Yeah, I did have just one announcement. So I reached out to Bear County to get a status on our park improvement grant. Unfortunately, they did confirm that our application was denied. So unfortunately, the playground that we were planning for is not going to be an option for the 2026 fiscal year, but they did advise to continue to submit the application going forward, and we'll just see where we land next year. But I did want to give an update on that, just so everybody is aware. It's rather unfortunate news, as I know our park could use the revitalization, but just wanted to share that for full transparency. Mayor Pro Tem, if I may, I do need to drop after a while. If I can prioritize a few items and then the rest of the group can tackle the rest.
So Mayor, just real quick, did they tell you why it wasn't given so that we can improve our application for the next year?
Yeah, she did. It was something to do about the median income in the area and that it didn't meet the qualifications.
Just so we have that for improving next time, sir. We don't need that information here. I just wanted to know. Two of the
Yeah,
individuals for some of the items on the agenda are online, so I wanted to try and prioritize them as well.
yes.
Whatever it is that
That-
you bring up, sir. So
Yeah, that's exactly the point I wanted to make. If we can prioritize 12D with Jane Montes and I think her counterpart Ashley Martinez.
I'm sorry, say that again.
We prioritize 12D right now with Jane Montes and Ashley Martinez from Camp Gladiator.
Okay, and then just because I don't know when you're gonna drop, I also see that K3 showing is, this agenda that I'm looking at is not the one that you emailed to us. Which one was the one posted on our website?
The one on the website is yeah, there might have been a couple updates through the weekend since I sent the one on Friday. So I'm gonna, and I apologize that we should have got you that. But I wanted to talk about 12D which is the Camp Gladiator. I do want to talk about 12E, which is a manufactured home ordinance variance. 12F, and this is all on the website, the RFP for the towing services, and then 12A for a retirement package, and then 12B for National Night Out.
All right, so
So
with that, it is now 7:01, and we will go ahead and move to item 12D to discuss in our possible action on partnership with Jane Montez and Camp Gladiator. So I believe Ms. Montez is online. Ma'am, is your mic good?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yep.
ma'am.
Okay. All right. So, hello, my name is Jane Montes. I am with Camp Gladiator. Ashley Martinez is my director of Camp Gladiator. And what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to actually open a Camp Gladiator camp in Sandy Oaks for the community itself. So just a little bit about what Camp Gladiator is. It's an outdoor and online high quality, high energy workouts led by personal trainers. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to open a location outdoors in the mornings on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays if possible. And so Michael and I were discussing that, and we were talking about possibly there being some sort of compensation for Sandy Oaks in that regards. And so we want to discuss that with you to see, what we can come up with as a plan.
All right, so yes, ma'am, what are you considering or proposing to offer the city?
So what I'm proposing is,
you.
I'm sorry, repeat that.
And what is it you're asking the city to provide to you?
Okay, so what I would like is a location. And Michael and I had discussed, or the mayor and I had discussed, possibly where the Sandy Oaks area is, like that little parking lot area there. And so just for that location, the members would actually, take equipment, or I would take equipment. I would take mats. I would take dumbbells for them to use, and we would just use that location for.
Ma'am, I didn't hear that. You broke up. Which parking lot?
The parking lot where Michael's office is. Is that where your office is, Michael?
yeah, so it could be either one at City Hall, or two, it could be at the park at the pavilion. So there's multiple locations, depending on lighting, depending on availability. And because, with the parking lot at City Hall, right, we have people coming in and out, but it's early enough to where it shouldn't be much of an inconvenience. So there's multiple locations that it can be at. Did you hear that, Mayor Pro Tem? Did you get that?
I heard that. Thank you.
Okay. All right. And for that, because I would not be making any income until I actually got people to join, what I was proposing is $50 a month until I got people to join. And then we would go to a 10% from the income that I made. So those are my two proposals. And then once I have income, then it would be like the based off the 10% of revenue that I make.
And just to add to what Jane's talking about, sorry, my name's Ashley Martinez. I'm the field growth director for South Texas for Camp Gladiator. So just to kind of piggyback on what Jane is talking about, a little bit more about our company. We're all 1099 employees, 100% entrepreneurial. So her opening a location is actually something she's doing on her own time with no compensation. So she won't be paid for any of that work until she actually has paying members at those locations. But what she wants to do is to be able to open something that is for her community instead of traveling to San Antonio or somewhere else. She really wants to bring a fitness option and more access to fitness for the community that she lives in. And so it's really more almost seen as like it's not nonprofit, but she's definitely working without profit for a while until she has anyone that does decide to join. And then anyone that does decide to join, we've been able to approve a 20% rural community discount that they would get for the lifetime of their membership that would be exclusive to anyone who lives in Sandy Oaks.
Sandy Oaks.
All right, Alderman Tremblay, you have questions?
I think that before we get into, logistics of where it will be built, I think we need understand the actual service you're gonna provide. If you have some type of, a program that you're going to put forward. Are we talking about, just fitness? Are we talking about weight loss programs? What exactly are we talking about? And these fees that I'm seeing, the memberships, these are individual, membership fees? Or is this what the city's paying? How is it?
So the cost of the city would actually be nothing. There's no sort of payment whatsoever. Most of the locations that we have in our company are parks, parking lots, and local churches that we partner with on a one-on-one basis, where we provide services to that location itself. Like for churches, we help them with their cleanup days and their fundraisers and any philanthropy efforts that they have. Same thing with the schools and businesses that we have in our larger cities. And for that, in exchange, we have a lower rent per se monthly. And that's kind of what Jane was talking about with that $50 to start. These are individual memberships. So if a member of Sandy Oaks wanted to continue with the program after a month for free, they could do so at a discounted rate. And then our product, we offer workouts that are for all fitness levels. She's a certified personal trainer, so she's able to modify workouts for all age groups. I mean, we have campers and we have people that are in high school, and they're all working out together in a community setting. And then she modifies those workouts for each person individually to fit their needs and then to fit any, prior injuries or limitations. The benefit that they have with a membership is that they get to see Jane, but they also get to have access to any other workout of Camp Gladiator all over nationwide. So if they're traveling to Orlando, or they're traveling to Arizona, or they're in another city or state that has camps, they're able to go there as well with that membership, as well as having access to online workouts they can do from home. And those online workouts, we have low impact, yoga, cycle, Pilates. It's a really big network that we just want to expand into her community. But specifically, she wants to be able to train as many people as she can and make a difference where she lives. I'm hoping that I kind of answered some of those questions, but anything else specific, we can definitely answer for you.
Yeah. Any questions?
I don't have a question.
Go right ahead, sir.
Oh.
This is the agenda item we can, welcome to discuss.
The city hall parking lot, that we need to strike that quickly because we have traffic in and out all day long. And at least once a month, municipal court.
Yeah.
There's
Unless it's during non-work hours, and someone's gonna come up here and open the gate and maintain security, yeah.
forget it, and after hours, the parking lot is security. So, I think we're looking at the park pavilion, or we could set aside a portion of the paved area for they choose. But that's all I'm concerned with.
So from the Park Advisory Committee perspective, or maybe the city secretary would be better to answer this. I know there's a way to sign up for that pavilion. Is there a cost to reserve that pavilion? Because I know it's on the park's website.
The pavilion is free. It's
So
just the-
anybody that is a citizen of this town can go and
Right.
reserve that pavilion for however long they want, whenever they want.
So we try
No.
to stick with 4 hours maximum.
4-hour maximum.
So you can have the morning, have things.
There's nothing to stop her from just going out and reserving the pavilion for whatever periods of time she wants to use it for her class.
Nothing at all.
There used to be, but there is not at this time.
I don't know. I know it's still on the website.
The only, if the use of the community center, we have rates for it.
Yeah.
No,
But-
let's begin today.
Do you collect fees for anyone reserving the pavilion?
The pavilion, yes,
What does it cost to reserve the pavilion?
$50.
Okay.
Well, it's like that for the pavilion is $50 deposit, and you get that back if you clean everything up. Now the community center is different.
The community center
Yeah.
has a $50 deposit and
And
a
that's your fee.
So,
The pavilion is just the
as
deposit.
city of San Diego. Is that correct, Ms. Montez?
The hours that I was thinking of actually doing the class would be in the mornings on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. I was thinking of 6 a.m., 6:30ish, that early. So before people go to work, that was my plan.
But my point is, any citizen can go reserve that pavilion at no cost, so. So you would have to pay a deposit of $50 to reserve it, to say, to verify that you're gonna clean it up when you're done, and then if you leave it clean, you get your $50 back. So what I'm saying is, what are you coming to us to approve if you as a citizen can just reserve that pavilion?
The city is prohibited from giving public property for free without a public purpose, excuse me.
Correct, and that's why I'm saying she is a citizen, she could go reserve it just like anybody else. And
That's not a public purpose, that's a paid subscription. Right? To join her class, you have to pay monthly fees, right? That's the difference. You're right. You're absolutely right. But because the Camp Gladiator has a monthly fee, it is no longer public purpose, right? It's for specific people.
Okay, so even though you could go reserve it to have a party for your son's baseball team, because you're not making money on it, you can do that, but she can't. Okay, so that's why that doesn't work, and that's why.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that's why it was put on the agenda, right? Because I wanted to give her an opportunity to explain what the benefits are of Camp Gladiator, to, kind of talk to y'all about that. And then, of course, we had the dilemma where we can't provide it without a public purpose, right? So I didn't want her to believe that it was just me being the bad guy.
Can I say something? I have been a member of Camp Gladiator in Floresville. And they started like at 5 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. And it was they had a lot of members. So it's.
So one, to get into the park prior to sun up, doesn't that require someone to go open the gate? So we would have to utilize city resources to allow her to get into there. Then she's using city property for the class. Whether it's the parking lot or the pavilion, to make money. So I guess, as the mayor's saying, there's restrictions to that. So, well, the gate can be programmed to open up. The gate can be programmed to open as needed. If I can get somebody to help me program. So
Sorry, go ahead.
Your ask then is, are we willing to allow you to utilize a space to be determined in the park for $50 a month until you get clients? Doesn't specify how many clients, and at which time you'll start paying us 10%, so that the city is making, getting some benefit out of allowing you to use their resources. Is that accurate, ma'am?
That is accurate, yes.
So even as far as using the building area, there's fee involved, we can utilize something in city property, if she's charging.
Unless we're receiving some sort of benefit from it, correct?
Giving, allowing them to use any property that's not accessible to the public, will be, giving all the city resources. But I don't know if it is prohibited, anything that would be given to another citizen, if that would be prohibited from her operating her class, but going outside the hours that is normally operated, that may be where, the city would need to receive something.
So if we allow them to use the basketball area, they could be there, there's no rental, no charge for use the basketball court. They could probably use that.
Right, but she's looking to use it outside normal hours. So I think what we need to do at this point is give, our city attorney some time to go look into that and find out exactly outside of normal hours, because that leads to some additional complications other than what we already know.
Yeah, and there probably needs to be some sort of lease agreement between the city and Camp Gladiator, for just the continued use.
So first, do we want to even consider the offer that she's making of $50? So do we want to pass our city attorney to go look more into this and let us know the law.
Okay, so we do, we first on camera, can we provide a space? And that's where the
Right.
city attorney.
But do we want to even consider what she's offering? Because if we don't even want to consider $50 a month until she gets so many clients, then there's no reason to spend the city attorney's time.
Per time, just out how far.
Right, but if we're not going to consider it, there's no need
I
to
mean,
spend
we
the
could
time.
consider it.
So that's my question. So if this is something we as a council want to consider, then we can ask the city attorney to look into it.
I think we, if I can interject, I think we should allow this idea to kind of run its course for the $50 per month up until she meets enough clientele to supersede that amount monthly, right? So the moment she has, I don't know, however many clients that equals more or greater than $50, then we switch to the 10% revenue base. So I that is my opinion. I don't see
If I may interject?
Yes.
I don't really think we need to go through the attorney. Because we can look at our community center as private use and public property. Okay, so we have set the standard with that policy.
But
Okay,
it's not for free. They pay for it. And they don't use it for fundraising.
if you want to have a private party in the community center, sign up for it, pay the deposit, and it's a done deal. So we're not looking at a brand new concept here of somebody using city property for a private purpose and renting the property.
The difference is she's making money, is what I understand. Is that correct?
Private purpose is private purpose whether they're making money or not. Okay? We can't give someone a driveway because there's no public purpose for us to do that. Private purpose is private purpose. Purpose of whether they are making a profit or whether they're having a birthday party for their grandchild.
Okay, so I would ask if the city attorney concurs with your assessment of the situation.
That was better. If she were using the city hall parking lot, that is not given the full design access to that generally to meet. So that would, I think, we would need something in exchange for that. However, the park is used for other citizens, she can use that as long as she follows, as long as other citizens not change. If it's outside the parking of the hours, then that maybe either the council would change the policy of the hours or maybe some sort of agreement with her where she would compensate the city outside of the hours. What about? Well, I think there is some with, when people, we've had people do activities in the park and they try to sign some sort of waiver, releasing the city. So it would be that same waiver that is still used, but not, I have one that the city used to use that. I can just update what it needs to be and then that would be something, first, I think it was like a walkthrough, where people use the park. That would be, it's one of my concerns, or one of my concerns, if because the activities are so involved, I don't know what liability waivers Camp Gladiator have, but it would also need to include as as someone released from.
So just a couple things that from I know you guys are discussing. We do carry our own liability insurance, and so Jane is covered 100% with any activity that she has. If that, just to for you guys to know.
State court, and it's outside of her job under Camp Gladiator and something.
As long as it's a Camp Gladiator activity, no matter where she is, she's covered 100% by us.
What about the other churches?
Yeah, so anything that happens during one of her Camp Gladiator events would be covered under our liability policy. And then if you needed a specific policy drafted for that location, most people just use our general liability policy, but there are some locations that want a specific one. We can have that drafted within a week, that you guys would have your own specific liability policy in your name that she would have available. And then as most of the parks, when we do work with parks in other cities, we'll generally just be wherever there's available space and not in a specific, like it doesn't have to be the pavilion. And then if someone does rent a space, then of course we move, or we don't, we try to be, we try not to make ourselves a nuisance. Like we really do try to make sure that we're taking up a space that's not being occupied by anyone else. Same thing with parking lots and with businesses. We always ask them where they want us to be. And then we, of course, agree to that ahead of time. And then we don't go outside of that.
Right. Are there any other questions?
Any coordination from the community center, you do, Lori? Or do you do that?
No, it was, the community center employee is Raven.
Right.
Yes, not Gloria. Gloria is the one that's employed by the city.
Coordination.
And then there's an application form if you want to use the community center. We need to be coordinated, but they're not gonna have the community center open at 5 a.m. 6 a.m.
But we.
He was just using that as an example of why we can allow this kind of situation. So,
Well, at this point, I would recommend, we authorize Mayor Martin, but it's at minimum, we can just certify their liability policy. And the waiver of liability. But we can just like that to the mayor and let him find it.
to get the information so that we can make a decision at a later date, once we have that information, is that what you're recommending? That we obtain the additional documentation and information necessary to make an informed decision? Is that what you're?
Okay, I'll make the motion that Mayor Martinez can say with Camp Gladiator, receive a certified copy of their liability policy and waiver of liability to the city of San Diego. And bring that information back to council for a final decision.
All right.
That is the motion.
I have a motion, from Alderman Fillinger. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion from Alderman Fillinger with a second from Alderman Tremblay for the mayor to interface with Camp Gladiator point of contact to obtain a copy of their liability policy, a waiver of liability, and bring that back to council for us to make an informed decision on this request. Any more discussion on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? The motion carries unanimous. All right.
Thank you.
Know that there's several folks online, but I think,
Thank you.
oh, sorry, thank you, Alderman Fillinger. Thank you, we will have to get back with you. You can expect the mayor to reach out to get those documents that motion indicated we needed. And then, we'll bring that back and have further discussion on that, and the mayor will let you know, what is.
All right. Thank you so very much.
All right.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you for your time. All right. I know there's other folks online waiting to get to other items, but I noticed there are folks in the audience that aren't typically here, and I am guessing that may be a result of item 12C. So now at 7:25, I want to take a look at item 12C, but before we move into the budget workshop, I want to point out that what was emailed to us is not as what in this packet. What was emailed to us for item 12C was the 2024-25 budget with the expenditures on that. So Is the council comfortable moving forward with this without having had that information in advance? Or would you prefer to move this to a later meeting since we didn't have the information as a read ahead? So, and I don't know how many of you are here for the budget, but I do have to apologize. The information that we as the council member receive in order to prepare for this meeting was that. So, was the proper information posted online so we can at least get the citizens' feedback on this?
Oh, there's not the budget hearing, that's August 20. I think this is just an initial presentation to the council.
So there's no, okay,
No.
I was just concerned that some of these people are here to hear this conversation about the budget, and I don't think we're gonna have that. So, just so everybody knows, the budget workshop, if you were here for that, we at the council are not comfortable having that conversation because we didn't receive the information as a read ahead. So item 12C will not be covered today. I apologize if you're here specifically.
So Tim, if I may, what do you mean you did not receive? I sent the 24-25 and I sent the 25-26 budget.
Did anyone else see that in the packet?
I'm looking at the email right now that I sent to everybody. So I'd appreciate if we didn't say it was not sent out because I'm looking at the email sent at 3:03 p.m. or whenever I sent this. So I don't know if you did not see it or not, but nonetheless, did provide that information, but that's up to y'all. I'm not.
That sent in, it wasn't, I don't see it in the email that was sent with the read aheads for this meeting, so. I'm right here, but I think in my packet, so I walked in for that. So again, I'm asking, I'm fine to go on with this, if you all are.
Well, and this is almost where I have to drop as well. So, but it was in the packet that was sent on Tuesday, August 12th. I think 3:03 p.m. my time, which I'm on the East Coast right now, so probably 2 o'clock your time.
On what day?
On August 12th. So nonetheless, I mean, it can be tabled if you didn't review it, which I get it, but it was sent.
Yeah, the only email I see on August 12th is the meeting minutes from July 24th. Did you guys get it? I mean, we can move on if you guys have it.
This came with all the financial information. Yeah, I mean, I have 11A amended proposed incentive pay for officers. I have Ms. Mitchum's variance, the K3 proposal. I mean, sent to myself and blind copied all our aldermen.
Okay, well then we will cover it then.
I mean, again, right? If nobody reviewed it, I'd rather not.
They're saying
And I think,
so it's good.
okay.
No, I'm good with going on. I just didn't see it in the package he sent out to everybody. Is all I'm saying. I wanted to make sure you all have it. So, but I still want to talk about that before we go to the folks online. One, because we still have the mayor, and two, because we have citizens that are here specifically to hear this conversation. So I need to read this announcing for the public.
No, I think it was just for no, this is not the public hearing.
Right.
It's just an initial presentation to the council about the proposed budget.
The public hearing will be held at 6:30 p.m. on August 14th.
Oh, no, the notice that was in paper.
What was posted?
I saw the 13th also.
Yeah, so what I thought was being posted is what is right here, which says the 14th. But what went in the paper, it says the 28th. Delma, do you know?
What went to, I'd have to look at my
What
email
was-
when we sent it. I think it
Was
was,
posted in the paper.
it was
What was
20.
what was posted in the paper was what Cassandra sent us, right? The notice. I gave you the budget right now just so that way y'all can see it. So that what you're seeing is backup is what is for to be discussed next week. But I'm just giving it to you ahead of schedule so we can talk through the budget.
Right, but I'm reading the second sentence of this document, and it states the public hearing will be held at 6:30 PM on August 14th, 2025, which is today.
Yeah, you're right.
Excuse me. If I can interrupt. We cannot have a public hearing without a special meeting and we the agenda as a regular meeting. So we can't have a public hearing regardless of what they're done.
Regardless of what this says.
We can have a preliminary discussion of budget, which is normal before we have a public hearing.
Okay, so I would ask that you verify what has been published to ensure that our citizens are fully aware of when we're going to actually have the public hearing.
Regardless of what is published, that we cannot have
I
a
understand,
special hearing tonight.
I understand that,
Do you want me to go?
but let me finish.
But
Citizens to know.
Let me finish, please. If it does in fact say the 14th, please correct it to what the mayor thinks it says. And if it does say the 28th, then I'm assuming that that is fine and that will be done differently. I just want to clarify, if it's wrong, we need to fix it. And if it is correct, then we're good to go.
Do you want me to go look real quick?
No, because it's irrelevant. It's not going to change what we're doing now, because as Alderman Fillinger has pointed out, we can't discuss it now. I just want to make sure that our public notice is accurate and corrected if it's wrong. So I just want to let the citizens know that we are going to check on this and make sure that we got it out there right. Okay. So. Not a public hearing, but we'll go to the discussion for those citizens that are here to talk about this item. I will open it up for council members to ask questions on what is in the budget. And again, the mayor is here to answer those questions, so if he has to drop, he'll have to cut this conversation short because he was the one that drew up this and I was not. I can't answer any questions associated to it.
So just to, I don't know if anybody's talking, and I apologize if I cut somebody off. But I sent out the budget information, let's see, July 30th. And I wanted to just give out what it does include is it does include our current deputy clerk at part-time employment. It does include a new kennel tech at part-time employment. It does include the summer intern, which was approved last year. It does include a 6.5% increase for all employees' pay rates for the new fiscal year. It does include a 7% build out of overtime for police officers. It does include a 3% build out of overtime for remaining employees. It does include $10,000 for a new zero turn. It does include a more aggressive court fines and fee schedule, which should be expected with more police officers and more animal control on patrol. It does include $100,000 contribution of our own money to the budget, such as we had the last year. And then as per Tom's request, it does include a $12,000 savings contribution per our investment officer request. So I mean, $1,000 we pay into our into the fund that he reports on quarterly. So that's what I have included in the budget.
So I do have questions regarding this budget. So one, you mentioned a kennel tech being added. I'm just curious as to when the council discussed adding this as a city employee and what we have discussed as pay or any job responsibilities or anything associated with a kennel tech.
And so, I mean, you're right, that could still go away, right? But I wanted to include it in speaking with our staff. That's something that they had requested. So you're right. Pay rates can still be discussed. I think it started at $15 an hour, part-time employment. Nothing too extravagant.
So that's how you worked it in based on the input from the employees and before anything.
Yes, ma'am.
with that
That is correct.
At the council. My second question is, city administrator. We had that in our budget for the previous fiscal year. I know it was removed and that funds was transferred elsewhere, but, we need to get that worked in for the next fiscal year. We're not doing the city or its employees, we're doing them a severe disservice by not having that city administrator to help with things. And it overburdens you because you're, doing a lot of things that a city administrator could be taking on. So that's the one
Sure.
thing I think needs to be added.
That's a fair comment. It will affect the ability to continue to hire our employee or our police officers, particularly because that's $100,000 that we have to pull from somewhere, right? At least $100,000. So I mean, just and I can figure out a way to do it, or at least figure out where we can cut to fund that role. But if that's something that everybody agrees on, it's certainly something that we can consider, or at least I could try to build in.
I think you'll find that the city employees and the city council, all believe that the city, and all of us can benefit significantly by having, a city administrator here.
Okay.
So, Alderman Tremblay, what questions do you have
Yeah.
regarding the budget?
A few questions. I just make an observation first. So the current tax rate is 0.3439. You want to look at it that way, and your proposal is going up to 0.3559, which is not a big difference. I can agree with that. That's really minimal. But looking at some of the numbers under the parks and city grounds projects, we only got $5,000 allocated there. I don't think that's adequate for the park. And in the past, we put 25,000. The municipal judge health plan, I thought we had questioned that in one of the past meetings here recently was that, and I thought he made a statement that the judge paid his own premium.
Yes, sir. You're right. I meant to
So-
ask that too,
So
because I asked that question
why do we
last
have-
meeting.
Why do we have $4,000 allocated for the municipal judge health?
There should be a offsetting revenue line for $4,000 in the budget.
Revenue line is $3,654.
Okay, so then it just needs to be increased to 4,000 to where it's a net zero.
Okay, and I had I know we really need to talk about the animal control, the containment facilities. We got $10,000 in the budget for that line item. Litter removal, why do we even have litter removal? I don't think we touched litter removal. Why are we paying for litter removal? We're not contracting anything out.
That's for trash. They call it litter removal. It's trash services.
It's for the dumpster that's in the park. So, because if you look at the current year's budget, we're over budget for that.
Okay. The 18,000 that's allocated for public works under tools and equipment, is that taken into consideration the new zero turn?
Yeah, 10K is the U0 turn.
So 10K out of that 18 is for the zero turn.
Right, and I want to say they're under that $8,000 budget in actuals. I wanted to say I'm not looking at it right now.
Yes.
Okay. But yeah, I'll echo what the Mayor Pro Tem said about the just adding a city manager position in here. We definitely need it.
Well, what I do ask though is that you do take a look at the budget and tell me where to cut, right? Because that's I want to make sure that if I cut, it's going to come from the places that you all agree with, because we can't come to the table with we need to add $100,000 budget item, but then we don't know where to pull the money from. Please take a look at the budget and tell me exactly where you want the money to come from. That way, it makes the guessing game a whole lot simpler for myself.
I mean, we're a city that's growing. I mean, I don't want to get shot here with from the gallery here, but if we need to increase taxes to pay for a city manager, then I mean, It's what we need to do. We've been operating too long as it is without a city manager. If we have to fund it, we will benefit from it. That's just my thought, my feeling.
If I may,
Go ahead.
Yes, Charles, Alderman Foster.
to follow that up, the tax increase that you show on the proposed budget, is that the maximum tax increase we can be looking at this year?
No, so no, it's not. That's not the voter approved rate. In fact, it's below it. But then we do have to go to an election. And if Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, Cassandra, we are past the time frame to send it to election. Is that correct?
That's correct, to go over the voter approval rate. What is the voter approval rate?
Hold on.
What's the amount that can be reached without?
Without one, yeah, that's
the question.
is that not the right way to ask that question? Voter approval rate, I don't know. He's trying to look it up right now. Alderman Fillinger, do you happen to know what it is?
I do not.
Oh, I think.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I thought it was 3%.
So the no new revenue rate is 0.3282. Let's call it that. There's a bunch of numbers behind it. And this year's voter approval rate is 0.34197. So in fact, the number that I gave you there, because I received this document late, does need to be adjusted down to be under this year's voter approval tax rate. So if that number, the number that you see today, were to be applicable, it would need to go to vote, which
559 is too high.
correct.
Okay. All right, understood, sir. Alderman Fillinger, did you have any questions or comments related to the budget that you'd like to address?
Is there any, are we at the voter approved rate?
According to what the mayor just said, we are over. The 0.3559 is over. He said the voter approved rate is 0.34197.
That includes the bond. Because the bond is a separate voter approved tax. And it's not the property tax.
I think these are some things that we might need to look at before we come back with a new budget, and consider as we're looking at where to find the money for the city administrator that we're asking for. What other questions, so that we don't, spend the time researching this stuff while we have, everyone here.
I somewhat while we're looking at people, I really think we need to look at a code enforcement official. And you're talking $55,000 a year there.
So the chief has stepped out. I don't know, you see you're the only other officer in here. Officer Palomero, do you know if there's been any discussion about code enforcement with the new officers that we're trying to get a grant on, or how we might be able to leverage that? I'm not waiting for it. Right, so you don't know, chief, I'm sure, assuming he stepped out to deal with something, it might be back, so,
The grants we're pursuing, we was looking for that our police officers.
right. But in my conversations with the chief previously, he stated that if we get those officers, then he was hoping to utilize one of the current officers to help with, as a code enforcement officer.
And I'm hoping
so-
younger and folks that are looking at it, however come.
Yes, sir. So that's the, Mayor, did you hear that, comment from Alderman Fillinger? He's thinking we need to consider someone specifically for code enforcement,
I
not,
believe that we'd be well served by having a dedicated code enforcement official
would, of course, work with the police department. But when you go into the ordinances and see the detail required to enforce those.
Are you saying official or officer? I know there's a difference. Official.
That's term in enforcement.
Yes, sir. I know. I just wanted to make sure we're following what you stated correctly. Okay, so Mayor, did you catch that, comment from Alderman Fillinger?
Yeah, code enforcement, and I know there's, me and the chief have been in talks, and it really, to round out what you were saying, Mayor Pro Tem, about the utilization of an existing officer with the addition of new officers based off of the grant. I want to say that's still the plan. However, I don't know where it stands as far as we still need to qualify for the grant. So
Yeah, we'll ask the chief about the grant when he's giving his update, find out where we're at with that. But he's currently not in the room. He stepped out.
Okay.
All right, Alderman Fillinger, did you have any other questions or comments for the mayor regarding the budget? Alderwoman Walker, do you have any questions or comments? All right, so the three comments, that I've gotten, or excuse me, the several comments that I made note on is, more money for the park. The judge healthcare plan, the income portion of that, needs to be increased on the first page. We need we need a city manager and a dedicated code enforcement official. And then questions about whether or not this budget includes the bond. And then the highest amount that we can get with the voter approved rate is apparently less than what is cited on here. These are the items that I've got. I just want to make sure you've heard all of that, given the difficulty sometimes with the Zoom meetings. Or any questions, comments, inputs to this discussion we've had on item 12C?
no, I don't have any questions. If that was for me, sorry.
Yes, sir. That was.
Okay.
Proposed budget filed by the mayor, so now the council, or at the public hearing, the council has the opportunity to make those changes. So the mayor won't necessarily make those changes to the budget. The board's already been filed, and this is the timeline we're trying to meet the public hearing. So at the public hearing, that's when, we're out in the public.
All right. Thank you for that clarification, ma'am.
One more question. What I was asking earlier was, what is the maximum that we put that tax can be raised without
Yes, so that is the voter approval, what the voter approval rate is, and that would be the maximum rate. Some small cities also have what's called a de minimis rate, which sometimes can be higher than the voter approval rate, which the city can go to. However, the budget and the tax hearing also need to be held before, in time to give citizens time petition for election. So if it's between a voter approval rate and the minimis rate, it's not mandatory that the city call an election. However, they still need to give citizens time to petition if they want an election, so in case the city does it. So that's why the city is limited to the approval rate.
Thank you.
Something to keep in mind for future.
Any other comments from the council before we move on to our next agenda item? All right, thank you. I believe the individual Victoria Mitchum was online, and I see Santa is that.
Can I tee this one up, please?
So, let me read the item, then I'll hand it off to you, sir. So
Thank you.
we'll move on to 12E at 7:49. This is discuss and or possible action on exception to manufactured home ordinance for Victoria Mitchum. Mayor Martinez.
So Ms. Mitchum reached out to me about a mobile home application. It is a home that is greater than 5 years old, moving into the city. So there was going to be an initial review on the home. In discussions with Ms. Mitchum, she did mention that it will be installed behind the current home, because my first question was, is there anything on the property or is there any existing home on the property that needs to be removed? Unfortunately, her response was that it would be installed behind the existing property, but will be installed on a separate septic system. So in discussions with her, I was able to contact Bexar County. I only have one permit of an installed septic system. They do not have record of a second, and by my understanding from Ms. Mitchum, that second system is already installed on the property. She did state that the purpose of having a second home was for her son with a disability and needed his own living space. But in my opinion, I mean, for one, we can't have two homes on there, and then two, there cannot be two septic systems on the property because it is half an acre. It's not greater than that amount, at least and from what she stated to me. So that was the purpose of me discussing it. She physically wrote and asked for a waiver for a variance of for these particular reasons. So I wanted to put it to the council so that way they're aware of the decision that I think is pretty easily to make, that unfortunately we couldn't provide an approval on this property.
All right, so, and a lot of this is outlined in that read ahead that the mayor sent us. So one, it's a 10-year manufactured home, 10-year-old manufactured home, which is a variance from the ordinance. She's wanting to put a second 5-bedroom manufactured home behind a current manufactured home on the property. I believe it's her mother that resides in the current property, and she wants the second one for herself and her son. She claims there's 2 septics on there, but the mayor can only find evidence of one of them being certified. And as far as I know, in Bexar County, you can only have 1 septic on a half-acre land. So with that information, I open it up to the council. Is there any desire to have conversation or make a motion on this request for a exception to our policy, our ordinance? I would agree. I would agree. No desire to have conversation on this?
I'll make a motion.
You move to, yes.
I move that we not grant any exception. A, on the basis of 2 residences on a 1 single resident lot. B, TCEQ would not approve a second septic system on the single lot. TCEQ, Texas Commission on Environmental Quality.
Thank you for clarifying. I'm sorry to interrupt.
That Bexar County enforces.
Yes, sir.
Bexar County won't give a second permit if there's an existing second system. It's an illegal system, and we cannot authorize an illegal system to be hooked up.
Yes, sir.
So I move that an exception not be granted.
All right, I have a motion from Alderman Fillinger. Do I have a second? No. All right, I have a motion from Alderman Fillinger with a second from Alderwoman Walker to not grant this exception to our ordinance based on the fact that this would be putting a second manufactured home on the lot, and that the TCEQ would not approve the connection of the second mobile home to the second septic system on this half-acre lot. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
All right.
All those opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Mayor, can you take care of notifying this individual, the decision of the city council?
Yes, I will send her an email tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
The last one before I drop, and I just want to give you an update on this, is 12A. So if you would like to state that at 7:54.
12A is an alpha?
Yes.
All right, 12A, discussion, and so at 7:55, we're moving to item 12A, discuss and/or possible action on a retirement package for city employees, PMRF or ADP. Mayor Martinez?
Yeah, so I polled the staff to get an idea of what they would like to do. And unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, they came back and said they do not want to go to ADP. They'd rather stick with TMRS because it's transferable amongst other cities. And so I just wanted to give this group that update that we're going to continue with, or at least my thought is we would continue with TMRS as we currently stand.
So then our discussion either now or at a later date, when we can have the information, from that packet we received would be whether or not we wanted to consider a different TMRS package where we have matching, because the citizens are, meaning the employees are not interested in ADP. Is that correct, sir?
That is correct.
So is there any interest in discussing this at this time without this, or would we rather wait until we talk about
I
that?
recommend we table this action.
Yes, sir. 12A is tabled, with the recommendation from the mayor that we stick with the request of the employees when we come back and discuss this.
Table means that the last time brings it back to the next council meeting is gone. It's a dead issue and we'll have to start it all over again if we want to talk about it.
So if the mayor puts it on the agenda, we'll talk about it, we'll be done and we won't. Understood.
Correct. If we table without an action.
It automatically, yeah, after the next meeting is done. So, where's it, is that, you don't have to do a motion to table. Yeah, you need to move to table that, sir.
I move we table, agenda item 12.
I have a motion from Alderman Fillinger. Do I have a second? A second from Alderman Tremblay. So, again, we have a motion from Fillinger, Alderman Fillinger, with a second from Alderman Tremblay to table, agenda item 12A. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? This passes unanimously. All right.
Right. Thanks all.
All right, thank you. I do see someone else online, that's related to agenda items. So before we go back to the top, and I apologize for the employees that are still waiting, but we do have, K3 towing, on the line, which is related, I believe, to item 12F. So 7:57, we move to item 12F, discuss and our possible action on RFP for towing services for Sandy Oak. So, can you please introduce yourself?
I apologize, I didn't know we had an online counterpart with K3. I'm assuming that's the director, he wasn't in tonight.
Okay.
I was actually on deputy director of K3.
That's one.
This is our office manager, Ms. Perez.
Let's find out who is online if we can. They're muted. Yeah, hit that microphone.
No, it's them.
All right, well, let's go ahead. There should be a microphone up there on the podium. Please, either hold it or hook it on your lapel so that we can record that, for those citizens that listen to the meeting afterward. Please make sure the green light is on it. You'll need to press the button on the side if the green light is
And
on.
I is on.
Thank you so much.
Hi,
Please.
I'm Jennifer Bettis, and I first off want to thank Rick Alvarez for getting us here. We have been in discussion, we are with K3. I do have proposals here, I don't know if they were sent into you, would you like anything about?
So, yeah, if you help him in on the term, thank you so much, sir.
There's, a total of 5 pages, I did 5 for each of them, and then let me get you the quotes as well. I don't know how many you need, here you go. Our director.
Please, go ahead and continue.
So we are here, we have been in contact with the Mr. Flores. I believe it's you, sir. Pleasure to meet you. We are, what's in front of you is a proposal. I believe that, you reviewed, or I don't know if it has been reviewed. I'm sorry, there hasn't been much communication. As far as we know at the moment, we are on hold due to the yard, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, not due to the yard, but it was, given to the mayor, and the mayor, of course, it has to go through the council and stuff. I didn't know you guys were coming today, but the mayor, so it has to go through this whole process.
I thought the discussion, we have not published an RFP, so I thought the discussion was whether
I
to,
don't think we can receive an RFP before we publish
whether to.
Is that what this is?
that. If set it up, say an RFP, by issuing a contract,
This is a contract. Okay,
we're,
we'll need to hand these back to you. So, unless the mayor sent out an RFP that we're not aware of, and I doubt he did that. But you're welcome to talk about,
actually, I'm just expecting to be here, but not.
Oh, yeah, you can give me how it is with the man sign,
Okay.
you go over.
so that is an RFP. Thank you
Okay.
for catching that.
Well,
But
then,
they can still discuss what's in this, yes?
Well, yes,
Wait,
we-
hold on just a second. City attorney, is there any issues with them discussing this?
I think the council can discuss police services in general, and if they have questions.
we can't address this proposal now because we have not legally made this proposal.
On
We
RFP?
can't, The RFP. We
Okay,
can't-
so I apologize for this. Because this is listed on the agenda as an RFP, which we haven't officially solicited and requested, we can't address your RFP specifically without soliciting for others. I apologize that you've come here and spent this time waiting. Oh, we failed to go through the proper process to ensure that we have equal opportunity from others due to the fact that this is going to be some sort of contract with there's funding limits, the mayor, the attorney knows all the specific rules, as does Alderman Fillinger, as you heard. So,
is there any questions we could offer or answer on the towing profession as far as potentially in general, not to a specific employer or provider?
Not at this time. I think.
apologize. So, item 12F will not be discussed pending.
Madam. We need to discuss this agenda item. Do we want to authorize an RFP to be published for towing services? We
Oh,
cannot discuss.
I'm misreading it. Understand, we can't specifically request for that. We can't review that one. Okay, so what,
We apologize.
you're fine.
Sorry,
You're fine.
ma'am.
So-
It was a wonderful crowd.
I'm getting sickly after, so we're good.
Oh, okay.
Currently, you can't legally speak to council.
Okay.
We can't legally listen to you, so thank you for your.
Yes, sir. Thank you all.
All right, so then this is out for discussion and
Yes, sir, I really.
do we want to ask the city attorney to draft an RFP for towing service?
In my opinion, absolutely we do. We discussed this in general with the chief and the mayor and I have discussed this in general. Yes, we need to have RFP with an approved tow and storage facility.
So the RFP should include a request for the towing facility as well?
Storage services and storage.
Well, the storage
Services.
business, so storage services.
Yep.
Okay, that's not the same as the storage facility, because again, I'm wondering, are we putting the cart before the horse by finding out about towing services and storage, services when we don't even have an impound lot in which to store?
We don't need an impound lot. Have.
If they're having them to,
Storage service.
okay, then we don't have to provide that, so they have to figure out where to store.
Correct.
Okay. Any other comments, Alderman Bellinger?
No.
Alderman Tremblay, you look like you want to say something.
Well, I think this goes into it, where I say that. Soliciting for
A request for proposal.
For towing service
Towing and storage is what Alderman Bellinger is recommending.
at this point. If RFP towing services. I don't think we need to go as far as the storage. Because we don't have it, at this point, do we still have a towing service that's dedicated to the city? We did at one point,
Chief, do we? We don't even have a towing service.
so we can move forward in our. Oh, no, I mean, if they pick up a vehicle, they have their own yard. Sure, so if they pick up a vehicle for an accident on the highway, whatever, they're taking it to where they take their vehicle, and that's where they take it. We're just asking for towing services for the city. If we get to the point where we have a storage lot or an impound lot, then we can authorize them or have them bring in anything they tow in the city to our impound lot rather than taking it.
So that would automatically be.
If I may address that statement, sir. If we have our own impound lot, what we would then be discussing is the split of, do we split with the tow truck or not? And again, if we look at an RFP, then we can discuss, are we going to collect part of the tow? Are we going to collect part of the service? Do we get first choice when the vehicle comes up for auction? That there's more than just pay tow and get it out of the city. So I think we'll have to be looking at RFP, publish an RFP for towing service and storage services. But that's just me.
Even if we're not providing storage.
Well, and that's why we would be looking for somebody to sort. Okay? We can have an independent tow truck driver just pick up, take it to the nearest storage facility where he works his best. Just me.
The mayor had put this on the postpone this until mayor.
So, but the mayor has no say in whether or not we approve him sending out an RFP. I think we can make this decision without him.
Well, I mean,
But, right, but the question is if we're just towing, but if we do towing and storage, then we're limited to only tow companies that have a storage facility or have a contract with a storage facility. Would that be accurate?
That's the accurate.
Could we do an RFP where we're requesting proposals for towing with or without storage, and we could get some of both? That way we could look at both and compare what we want to do, because I think we'll get more if we just go with towing and than if we go with towing and storage. And maybe we'll decide we like the storage options better, but at least we'll have more and we only have to send the RFP out. Can she answer whether we can do both, and then you can provide your opinion on that?
Can indicate both, just have it be clear that the proposer is going to find what services we are, responding to the company of, staff, one staff, two staff.
Alderman Felger, please.
I think we see that further. You deal with one person or one company that provides those services, because we're gonna have to install, say, where's my vehicle? Okay. If we have a separate building company that may or may not have a lot, may be taken up to one or more storage facilities. Just saying.
Chief, what is your concern on, or thoughts on just doing towing versus doing towing and storage, as someone that is going to be working with many folks needing their vehicles towed?
I think we need our own impound yard.
That's a separate topic.
I mean, so, well, we're talking storage, right? So if you're putting out the RFP, I don't know which one that falls under, because if we're talking in the future, and if this RFP is for a year, right?
No,
Am I-
we're-
How,
right, we're-
how long's the
We
RFP for?
don't have an impound lot. We're
Correct.
gonna solicit proposals, so we got someone to do towing now. What are your thoughts on doing that now? No impound lot here in the city of Sandy Oaks.
It would have to, I would say somebody that has towing and a place to put their towed vehicle. That would be the best. Because otherwise now they're going to several different locations, and you're right, people are gonna call, where's my vehicle? I don't know, call a towing company, right? Whereas we could say your vehicle's located on 1, 2, 3, 4 Burke Street, right? But how long is an RFP for? Is it for a year? I believe, right? When you,
It's for whatever we ask.
Yeah, we would specify how long. So we want a proposal on providing towing service, towing and storing services for a 1 year for 12 months or something like that. We decide what's in the RFP.
I would recommend we look at as ask for an RFP with a proposal for 1 year, 2 years, and 5 years.
For towing and storing.
Yeah.
Alderwoman Walker, any thoughts from you?
I think we need the RFP for both towing and the storage. Although I kind of hesitate on making a 5 year.
So here's an odd
maybe a 1 or
question.
2 year.
Here's an odd question, because I've only done government contracts. Can we do 1 year with option years? Or is that only a government thing? I don't know. Option years. So we could do the 1 year with a 1 to 5 year option year, or 1 to 4, and then we could extend it out to 5 years, reevaluating the relationship every year, or modifying it if we end up with an impound lot that we're hoping to someday get, is what, yeah, that's the option year thing. I didn't know that. No. So, Alderman Tremblay.
It's RFP, towing and storage. Let's move on.
Do we need a motion to ask you to do that RFP?
If it's towing and storage,
All right, I move that we task our city attorney to draft a RFP for towing and storage services for 1 year with 1 to 4 option years.
I'll take it.
All right, so motion from Mayor Pro Tem Madero, second from Alderman Fillinger, to authorize the city attorney to draft an RFP for towing and storage services for 1 year with 1 to 4 year, 1 to 4 option years. Any further discussion on this one? All right, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? All right. So, then. That was just a draft that wasn't actually, so what do we do with our RFP once we get it?
You copy an RFP, give them respond at a certain amount of time to respond. We look at all the proposals and decide which one we want to.
Do we have to decide where that's published? Is it specified where it's published?
In our regular.
Wilson County.
Wilson County.
All right. But do we need to look at it again here at the council before it goes out, or can we just authorize it from there and do it?
No, we can. As soon as we see the RFP.
Or not,
We
do
don't.
we, the city council need to, or can we just get the mayor to do it?
Let's.
All right, we're gonna have to come back. We're gonna leave my motion as it is. I'm not gonna update it. Thank you. I saw your hesitation. Yes, we'll see what it says.
No, we can deal with that right now. Okay, and I would be perfectly satisfied with letting the mayor.
So you're gonna make a motion?
I will move that. When the RFP is prepared, presented to the mayor, he authorized the city secretary to publish at first opportunity.
All right, I have a motion from Alderman Fillinger. Do I have a second? Yes.
Yes.
And that's passed unanimously. Well, I failed to do that. So I have a motion from Alderman Fillinger with a second from Alderwoman Walker that, when the city attorney presents the RFP to the mayor, that the mayor authorize the, city secretary to publish that RFP. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? The motion passes. I will make sure the mayor knows where police pass for getting them out of this. meeting. Okay, with that, let's go back up to.
I call for a 2-minute recess.
All right, we will go a 10-minute recess. The time is now 8:15. We will return at 8:25. All right,
back.
it is now 8:26. Alderman Tremblay, just walked back in. Everyone else has returned. We will begin. We will now return to the top of our agenda. We have the consent agenda. All matters listed under consent agenda are considered routine by the city council of the city of Sandy Oaks and will be enacted by one motion. There will not be a separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. Yes, sir.
Deal with Mr. Reagan, agenda item on the revenue go on. We have a lot.
11. Oh, Terry, 11B. I'm sorry, sir. Mr. Reagan, so, I'm sorry, let's hold off on the consent agenda. It's now 8:27. We're gonna move to item 11B so that Mr. Terry Reagan can address the update to his property, and then we can, go back to the top. I'm sorry, Mr. Reagan.
Mr. Reagan, if I can address you, you have, sent a letter saying everything finished and accomplished.
Well, we have 3 minutes. So let's do it. So,
No.
3 minutes.
I'll remind you of 30 minutes that we can be there again.
So, Mr. Reagan, you have 3 minutes to address the council, if you'd like, or we can just go straight into our questions, your preference on that, but you do only have 3 minutes and that starts now.
Okay, permission to approach the council. I have some pictures to show.
Can you help with that?
So this will be the first two.
Schmidt, there we go.
This is outside the property so that any public would be, it's not an eyesore. It's also, taking care of the grass, for Hector next door for the sale of his house. Make sure it's always, we're working together on that. And so you can see well taken care of.
This is part of the property?
Yes.
Is that fence, that's a temporary fence?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I think that's enough. Yeah, I think.
Can we address, should we go?
No, we'll give them 3 minutes, because I've got them on for 3 minutes.
Go.
Okay, what we have here is before, this is the original. This is the progress, and then this is now.
All right, here, we'll take that. You go ahead and get his next one.
To be the same thing. This is right after the fire. This is our progress. Y'all have already seen some of these, and this is now.
All right, if there's anything in addition to these photos that you want to say, you might want to say it. You're down to your last minute, sorry.
So
We'll continue to look at the pictures while you're
Yes.
talking.
So we did send a letter asking for rescinding of, we've applied with the letter that was sent to us via the mayor, and that's this one here. So we did respond to that appropriately, and we've done everything that was asked to be done. So we're asking for everything to be rescinded, and of course, we will, any need for progress reports or anything like that, or we've been transparent with everything. And then also, there was, this is the letter that I sent, and then also we have another letter attached to that from Hector next door. And, he is totally fine with everything being rescinded, everything is acceptable to him. And part of all of this was because of his concern. So, I have these copies, y'all have copies in there already? or
Yes,
in
sir.
your
We
folder?
have our
So
copies. Thank you.
I had those, and there's these left, these are just more of the same. So this is after the fire, progress, and then now.
All right, sir. And your 3 minutes are up. Alderman Fellinger, I believe you had a question that you wanted to address to him on.
How much longer is that temporary fence gonna be in place?
I'm not 100% sure on that. We are in the process right now of, rebuilding the fence.
Okay, I seem to see still a frame of a manufactured home on the lot.
According to that is a great concern, and I appreciate the question. So the letter states very specifically,
The letter from,
the letter that we were given from the mayor
yeah,
is very specific, and so we have done everything we can to abide by the codes and laws. Do everything that was asked for us to do.
Chief, have you been out there? Are there any safety, health concerns associated with what still remains on the property?
I have not been out there recently. I've been out there in the past, but they were still working on it recently. No, I can go by there, but recently, no.
But before anything's rescinded, I think that would be
That would-
prudent to have you go out there.
Right, yeah, or even a post, not just maybe a health inspector because of the damage that was done from a fire or the fire marshal, right? I mean,
So-
I would hate to make that decision based on
But you.
mine as a police officer. I can go out there and look
From
at,
the code, City ordinance
Correct.
perspective, and then make your recommendation to the mayor as to whether or not we need a health official to go out there as well.
that can be done, yes.
I think would be the best course forward on here before we take action on the
Correct.
letter. Any thoughts on that from the council?
I'll just go back to the fence in front, like you say, it's temporary. Due to the fact that you're building, you're gonna rebuild or something, is that why you have that fence or?
So
Well, I mean, the fence won't be there for a year, 6
What-
months.
once again, I appreciate the question, and so we tried to abide to the letter that was given to us, and I know that we did. And so I have other things that need to be done on the property that are not related to what the letter. did.
Right. There is
And
an
so-
ordinance, there's a fence ordinance.
Yes.
As far as having a
Yes.
privacy fences. right?
And that temporary fence is to tied in to the letter that was sent to us.
Right, but the fence has been expanded, erected since you
Yes.
started working on that property to clean it up
Yes.
based on the letter.
Correct.
And I believe what both of the aldermen have emphasized concern about is the fact that the fence, as it sits right now, as a temporary fence, is in violation of our fence ordinance, which is a separate thing. Again, this was a health and safety thing that led to that letter you received. So their question to you is how much longer are we going to have that illegal temporary fence present on that property? And when will it be removed or replaced with a permanent fence that's in compliance?
My letter to you addressed that. It's already in construction. We've already purchased materials.
Right, but there's no timeline, and that's what they're concerned with.
So
Are
I
they like
also,
2 months, 6 months?
already got the permit. So,
The permit gives you 90 days,
correct,
if I recall correctly.
yes. but-
So you have a permit. So based on the permit, for a fence, for building a fence, once the permit is approved, you have 90 days to construct it. So I would say that temporary structure should be gone by the time we finish with building the fence in 90 days. Does that answer your question, Alderman Fillinger, Alderman Tremblay?
well, it sort of answers the next question. Um, but still, that manufactured home space needs to go away. It's part of the structure. that was destroyed during the fire. You cannot reutilize it as the foundation of another structure. It just can't be done. And
So you're saying maintaining that there is in violation of one of our current city ordinances?
yes, ma'am.
Okay,
But
So-
the same one that says it's a dangerous structure, until it is completely removed, it's still a dangerous structure.
I agree with you, it's a part of the original building. It was destroyed.
I don't know that
Was
ordinance
it-
very well, and that's why I'm looking for additional input, agreement, concurrence. So is there a plan to remove the remaining portion of that structure?
Appreciate the question. I have abided by the letter that was sent to me. And
Okay.
I asked that you would consider the letter that was sent to me,
All right, so
specifically separate. the
understood.
two.
Understood.
Okay.
So Chief, can you go take a look at what remains and see if there's any city ordinance violations still going on, regardless of what is or isn't in this letter, so that we can address whether or not there are violations that still exist, and then we can allow the mayor to evaluate based on his letter.
Yeah.
So and this is a question, just my lack of experience, I apologize. This letter was sent to, Mr. Reagan from the mayor, after we agreed. So what is the process to address Mr. Reagan's response to, this letter? And his request, to rescind this notice? What is the process?
Look. We might, this final.
The lot is still not in compliance with the ordinance. I cannot recommend rescinding the letter.
All right, so I think our way ahead then would be to get the chief to go out and take a look and find out how the property is not in compliance with current city ordinances, and provide that guidance and instruction to Mr. Reagan, and then come back and let us know. Acceptable way ahead on this one? Any additional questions, any actions that we need to take? I'm new to this, responding to a complaint.
We have to have it. As well as the foundation that, I'm assuming that we want to build another structure on top of that. Foundations on that.
Really?
The letter that, the mayor sent them, that was specifically state foundation, building foundation, or whatever it is, beyond 33% or more of the damage, 8% or more of the deterioration. It's definitely layered, so it's the same as what it's non-compliance. So other than, I mean, without the, if the chief cannot determine whether or not it's acceptable, then
Right, we may need that, but the first question is it even compliant with our orders, with our ordinances?
no.
So that decision is already no. So is there a reason to have the chief go out and look then?
It would be just to, if
No, but the only thing we can do at this point, if Mr. Reagan insists that he's in compliance, is we have a building inspector on contract with the city. We send our building inspector out there and he tells us. And the reason I say this, sir, is there is nothing you can build on a manufactured home chassis that complies with any code. Okay, anything you build on that is either gonna be a tent or it's gonna be in excess of the loading of that chassis. cut it down, put an axle under it, call it a trailer. Move it out of the city, I don't care, but it, there is no purpose for it being there. It's been through a fire. It was damaged by the fire. It has to go. And my recommendation is that we call the building inspector. And then Mr. Reagan can pay the building inspection fee. At this point, if we find you not in compliance or
May I address? Yes.
30 minutes are up, we can discuss this after the meeting. I don't want to be here till midnight.
All right, so thank you for the update, Mr. Reagan. We will, take this into consideration and discuss, further with the mayor, on the course of action. Okay, 8:42, we will go back to the consent agenda. Again, all matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine by the city council of the city of San Diego to be enacted by one motion. There will not be a separate discussion of any items. And it's desired that I will be removed from the consent agenda, all be considered separately. I'm requesting, I want to remove item A and item D from the consent agenda.
Again, A and D,
A and D, Alpha and Delta.
okay, they're all back to room for further discussion.
Any other items or any mention?
Wait.
A and B, removed. I move that we approve agenda item 5, item B, C, E, and F.
I have a motion from Alderman Fillinger. Do I have a second? All right, I have a motion from Alderman Fillinger to approve consent agenda items 5A, 5B, 5C, 5E, and 5F. With a second from Alderwoman Walker. I'm not sure if I said that. So, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? The motion passes. All right, so for agenda item A, I've already discussed the quality of those, the fact that, yeah, I don't want to get into the details. But I have reviewed them with the city secretary and the deputy secretary. They're going to go back and readdress the meeting minutes due to the typos and the other concerns with what it says. So I don't want to address them individually in here. I'll get with them and we'll come back and bring that to the next meeting. And then for 5D, the resolution, I am confused by this resolution. Because the resolution states the city council desires to pursue, desires to proceed with the steps necessary to levy ad valorem taxes by acknowledging receipt of the appraisal roll and tax rate calculation worksheet, including the no new revenue and voter approval tax rate. I don't think we've received those worksheets. We've got the tax rolls, but where's the worksheet that says, here's the no new revenue and voter approved tax rate?
That's the mayor.
Right, but it says that we've received them. We acknowledge receipt
He
of.
has them. He should have.
I don't know, I asked him.
You asked him?
I sent him an email asking, what are these worksheets mentioned in this resolution? And he addressed my questions about the budget, but he didn't address my questions on this. So, did anyone receive? Does anyone wants to acknowledge receipt of? Okay, so I, maybe just, talk to, I'll go back to the mayor again and tell him we're looking for those calculation worksheets. So that, we can acknowledge receipt of them. Any additional discussion necessary on A5A or 5D?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, go ahead.
The resolution which is included in our package.
Go ahead.
Right here in the consent agenda, I don't know. Resolution and the worksheet,
That's not the worksheet, that's the tab.
on the worksheet. You're right.
Every one of these pages say certified total, they're from Bear County.
Yeah.
Do you have a worksheet?
No, I'm sorry. Don't know what, well.
Any other discussion on Ms. Ellison? But y'all. No, we did not receive that tax rate calculation. Based on this.
Then we cannot adapt it, adopted as matter of consent agenda. That's,
All right, so we will move on then to, agenda item 6A, the income and expenses for July 2025 were reported by City Secretary Delma Doyle with possible discussion and or action. Ms. Doyle.
All right. All right, beginning the general fund statement beginning on July 1st, 2025 was $411,178.44. Checks and payments that were cleared was $109,598.21. Deposits and other credits cleared was $88,119.15, bringing the statement balance as of July 31st, 2025, $389,699.38. So on the APR, the beginning balance as of July was $55,252.39. With checks and payments that cleared were $21,772, which bringing the statement ending balance as of July 31st, 2025, $33,480.39. Any questions on that? And on the TDA grant, there was no activity. Beginning balance was $15,544.20, and that was the ending balance as well.
Okay, I did identify several items which the mayor was able to answer, but I did have a question as a result of the mayor's response to my question on, again, I'm looking at the general fund. So the third item on the general fund is it says BB Inspection Services LLC for $450. And I don't know that this is necessary for you. It could be, the council may be better suited to answer this. The mayor's response to me was that this was a certificate of occupancy inspection. So is that something the city is supposed to pay? I would think this could
No.
have been that request.
I can answer that.
Okay,
They pay us. We pay BB inspection, and the occupancy owner, the person that rents it, they pay us the $450. So it just comes in one hand and goes out the other.
okay, but where is that payment received?
Oh, well, it's in one of the deposits that,
Because it's
we have
not, I don't see it in any of the deposits, because every deposit in here is accounted for except for the, one of the $21,000 deposits, which the mayor explained to me. So every other deposit in here is accounted for, a $5 donation to animal control, and all the rest are fees and fines. So where was that $450 that came in?
that probably was paid in August when they got the certificate. So, it probably hit it right at the last of July, and it hit in August.
Okay, so we paid in advance, and we should be getting that payment for them in August. So, okay,
Right.
we'll be looking for that $450.
Well, yeah. Probably was toward the end of July, where because the one that this one is
She's
talking
saying
about.
that they paid after we paid first, and they paid out.
No. They paid first, but we just got it.
Mute.
This This is July,
It says that we paid July first. So
right.
if they paid first, they would have had to pay in June.
Well, this might be the, I might have not, calculated that $450 yet in there, but
Because
it's
it-
there. It came in, trust me.
I just know that this $450 is being paid back to us, because I did not, have $450 unaccounted for in the June
Right.
budget. It's nowhere in the July budget, so when is this business paying us the $450?
No, they did pay us.
But it was later in the month, so probably gonna show up
Right.
on our August report.
Right.
But we paid first.
Well, when they sent us the report, we paid. And it might have taken a little while because they probably had to go back and fix something.
Okay, I don't know that that's a good practice, we should be collecting the money from the business before we.
Well, we usually
But-
do, but something
I don't
happened
know
on
about
this one.
commercial, but,
Yeah.
okay, so I'll be looking for that
Okay.
in the next report then, if you're saying that was probably gonna be reconciled later. But is that typical business practice for us to pay it first and then the business to pay us later?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Because, you know, we have a contract with the inspection service that is separate from fees we're collecting from the individual. They're not necessarily always going to be the same number. But
okay.
And they don't get their certificate until they pay. So to occupy that suite, they cannot,
Yeah, but if they
yeah.
fail, why would they pay? That's my.
No. What they
But
do,
it's fine, no, it's good.
okay.
I
'cause they-
understand, I just know that I'll be looking for that four
Okay.
next month. So, and that was the only unaddressed concern that I had, after speaking, with the mayor regarding this item. Did anyone have any other questions for Ms. Doyle? I did ask the mayor about the $2,000. That was a cash withdrawal to provide the employees petty cash so that they could, purchase items while we didn't have a credit card. I'm assuming that they're doing, could be dangerous to assume, but I'm assuming that there's a proper accountability and Delmar's being provided with receipts for how they're spending that $2,000. But he said petty cash is down while credit card is not on. Any other questions, sir? And for those wondering about why we have $21,000 deposited twice. The first one, of course, was the transfers because it goes to the wrong account every time. And the second time, because Myers Concrete Construction, when we sent the money to them, their bank returned it to us.
Oh, that's twice they've done that to us.
So,
So we had to actually send them a check. Because we do it online and their bank just kept kicking it back.
so I thought it was odd, we had so many, I did that same. Any other questions? Alderman Phillips, do you have anything?
Nope.
I move to accept the financial report as presented by City Secretary Delma Doyle. We have a motion, Mayor Pro Tem Madero, seconded by Alderman Tremblay, to accept the financial report as presented by City Secretary Delma Doyle. Any additional discussion? All those in favor?
all right,
Aye. All those opposed? It passes. All right, the next item on the agenda is Public Works. Public Works Director Priscilla, Smith, with possible discussion and or action. Good evening, Council.
Mhm.
nothing?
I
Thank
did
you.
have a question for you. I've noticed a lot of driveways going in, as I'm driving around. How is it going with, I'm assuming they're coming to get permit, any issues, anything, times you've had to call out the city engineer to go do, that kind of analysis? Are we able to?
Yeah, we haven't had to reach out to the engineer for the culvert yet. There are, a couple of driveways that, I have addressed. There is a driveway that I have given 2 notice violations to. One of the notice violations I did give to, he did come in, he did get his permit, or his application for his driveway. The second one is a notice of violation. And, that hasn't been corrected yet.
Okay, but all you can do is do a violation. Is the police department able to back her up when these people don't do anything with it?
So is it the one that we're talking about? Is it that same one that from the email that I sent Cecilia out there about? Is that the one we're talking about?
That's gonna be one of them right now.
No, is that the one that you're saying is still in violation?
So I don't care about specifics. I just want to know if the.
So if he finds a violation, yes, you can forward it to us and we follow up on it. And I send my officer out there to do a follow-up on that one, yes. Sir.
Okay, because I know
After
there
10
was
days.
one where the guy put some plastic culvert in there and you told him no, now he's trying to build a fence. It's like, dude, someone better be. So, okay, so that's a concern, because I know we never made her a code enforcement officer. All she can do is say, hey, you really should go do something about it. I just want to make sure that, she has, some recourse when the citizen chooses to ignore.
Right.
All right, thank you, Chief. Yeah, please let us know how you're going, how that's going, how many driveways. If you ever have to call in the city engineer, I am curious to how that's gonna work when we finally reach a point where we have to call in this.
So what would the citation be if they're not complying with the violation notice?
That would be for the chief of the officers to decide. You just need to make sure. Yeah, because they need to come, they need to tell you need to tell the chief that you gave them a notice and they're choosing not to do whatever it is that you told them they're not doing, coming to get a permit. They're building a driveway without a permit, or they're building a driveway without the culvert that you told them they needed. Whatever it is that you told them they need to do, if they choose to ignore you, then it's up to the chief and his officers to follow up for you, because you're not code enforcement.
But my question is what would the citation be for? But what would it be for? That's what the question's been asked of me. What citation do you write of?
Failure to get a permit for a driveway.
Well, it's not so much just that. I mean, what's the roadway? What's the materials in the right of way?
Is there ordinance violation for placing materials in the right of way? One.
But I'm asking the citation that the officer would write, what would it specify? What is the citation for? They pull somebody over and they were speeding, so it would be a speeding ticket. What would the violation?
So she's saying the citizens are asking her,
Right,
if I
it's
don't
gonna
move this
depend on
road
what-
base,
it's
what
gonna-
violation am I gonna get?
So it depends what violation she's writing the city ordinance, violation for.
So putting something.
What
in the
is
right of way
the issue,
sounds-
right? So if it's for putting something in the right of way, then it's gonna be an obstruction of right of way, right? So that's gonna be a state law versus a city ordinance violation, right? That's not, I don't know if we have something, I'd have to
Yes,
look
we
at
do.
city ordinance violations for obstruction of right of way, but
Being flow.
Yeah, so that's a violation of the driveway ordinance. So they should be receiving, if they ask you, you can tell them that the police department can write them a citation for impeding the right of way, which is a violation of city ordinance and state law.
state.
So, or failure to comply with the city ordinance for a driveway.
Okay.
These are the violations in, you just need to continue telling the chief, copy the mayor, so the mayor's tracking, these different citizens. When we have a city administrator, you can copy the city administrator instead of the mayor, but since the mayor is acting city administrator, you just need to make sure the chief and the city and the acting city administrator are tracking these violations.
Next question. Officer writes a citation. What are we still doing about what's in the right of way? What happened?
If I make you so bold,
Sure, sir.
check the ordinance to see if every day is a separate violation.
That could be a state law issue too. Is it a violation every day under the state law? Do they get an additional fee every day? What's it,
It's in the ordinance as well.
Is it?
Everything is stipulated in the ordinance.
do you know, offhand what it says?
There's a statement in every ordinance, every day that doesn't comply is an additional
Is an additional fee.
violation.
It's an additional violation, that's pretty much proper play.
Okay, so every day he's getting an additional fine.
Right.
Well,
Well, what I'm trying
not
to get at-
necessarily, again, we are left with officer discretion.
Are they giving a
Okay.
warning or a violation?
So they may go by and say, you have 10 days to clean this up or I will write a citation. Okay, or they can write up the first day and write a citation because they've already had a warning. Okay.
Is, um, Ms. Schmidt being informed on whether or not something has been done, whether they just received the warnings, or she needs to let the police department know if it goes back, if they don't clean it up, or will the police officer go back and follow up after the 10-day, after their warning to see if it's been cleaned up? What kind of follow-up do we have?
I don't know. I only know of this last one that was forwarded to me on that one. So I believe she's been working with the officers, so I'm not sure what type of follow-up that she has going on with the officers back and forth, right? So I know on this last case, officer felt there was no violation left on that one, so she chose to not issue a violation or a citation on it. In her opinion, the situation has been taken care of. And that is her discretion. That's the way she feels on the matter. But as far as citations go, I mean, sometimes they get warnings, sometimes they don't. I mean, if it's just a blatant disregard for the city ordinance or the state law, they may just get a citation upon first time, first see, right? Because it's just that bad or that blatant, but
Can Priscilla be informed on which officer you send out to follow up on her email to you, or is
if
that?
I know about it, I mean, a lot of times I don't know about it. I knew about this one because she sent it to me, right? She got a hold of me, so I knew about this one, so I
So
followed
she
up.
usually doesn't send the emails to you, she sends them to somebody else?
Correct. On those, I don't know about your violations that you've been giving.
Because this is the first person that I've given a violation to that is not complying. Everyone else that I've given citations notice of violations to, they're complying. They're coming in here and getting a permit.
Okay,
This guy has road base times 2 deliveries and spread it all out in the road, in the right of way. So my question is that he's given a notice of violation, the 10 days has passed. He should have been given a citation possibly.
but the
or
chief
spoken
says
to.
that the officer that went out there doesn't feel that there's a violation.
I wasn't informed of any of that.
So, that's what he's just saying.
Did he fill the ditch?
Yes, he did.
Okay, then it's a violation.
Thank you. And I want to know,
Not of the driveway, then of the right of way. Because if people can't come in and randomly change the profile of ditches. Okay,
Okay,
that causes flooding. My neighbor did it to me. Okay. We worked it out, but.
So maybe it's an educational point with the officers to make sure the officers are aware of the fact that modification of the ditches is a violation of our ordinance. Is that, it's a violation, so,
Absolutely.
possibly, right? Cause so she brought me the picture too, and I looked at it and it's very neatly spread out, looks beautiful, right?
but is
And
it filling in the ditch? Is
so
the
I
question.
didn't look at that, right? And I didn't look at that either. So we weren't looking at that, right? She was under the impression that this was what she thought or what was brought to her attention as littering. And that's not littering, right? I said, in your opinion, is this littering? She said, no. I said, in your opinion, is this a city ordinance violation? She says, no. I said, then you have your answer.
Can you ask the officer to go back out and look at it from the
Yeah,
perspective?
most
of filling
definitely
in
we
the
can,
ditch
right?
and
So
modifying-
that's,
Is it
that's
modifying
a
the right of way?
violation that I've not looked into.
If it changes the profile of the ditch,
Mhm.
okay, we're going to have to bring it back in the profile. Because we are tasked,
But what's the ordinance violation that the officer can actually write up? That's what he needs to know.
I'd have to do some research on that too, but
I will find the ordinance, but yeah, people are not allowed to put anything in the right of way. You
Absolutely.
can't plant a tree in the right of way. You can't have a brush over this. You can't, according to ordinance, you can't have, more than 5 inches of grass
vehicles,
in the right of way. You can't park vehicles in the right of way. Okay, put a dumpster in the right.
I understand all of that, but without the ordinance that's being violated, what exactly is being violated? The chief can't send his officers out to do something. I absolutely agree, understand the concept of modifying the right of way, blocking the right of way, but he needs an ordinance, so it's just a little research.
You get, let me ask you. Someone dumps a load of gravel in the roadway.
right,
Is that a violation?
correct.
Okay, right of way is also a way. We have roadways, we have right of way.
I agree.
okay? You can't just dump whatever you want to on public property.
I agree. So the way the picture looks at to me, right? So I didn't go out there. She went out there. And the way the picture looks like to me, it looks like this is their property in front of the house and that they made it look like landscaping is what it looks like to me. It looks beautiful, according to the picture she sent. But she could be, and she could be just as confused as I was on the city ordinance. And I'm gonna be upfront, I don't know every city ordinance that we have for the city of Sandy Oaks. We have like 1,000 of them, right? So it's
Right.
going through and learning them all. And I mean, hold me,
Let me ask you, man.
but it definitely wasn't littering. Tell you that.
That's what the city attorney, so the title littering is coming from is not my verbiage. I got with the city or city secretary, excuse me, our city attorney, Cassandra, Ms. Ortiz, and I discussed it with her about the road base being placed in the right of way.
And I sent my officer out there.
And she said that it could possibly be considered littering.
Okay, so the concern that Alderman Fillinger is bringing up is the blocking of the right of way and the filling in of the culvert. We need to keep that ditch in order to assure drainage, so we just need to go out and get the officer to look at it from that perspective with the
Right.
knowledge of whatever ordinance this is, that's being violated.
So I need to research to find the ordinance, but my advice is if we're going to write notice of city ordinance violations, right? We need to write the correct city ordinance violation on those notice of ordinance violation. Don't give them to my officers with the wrong ordinance violation. That's just my advice.
What are you saying? No, wrong ordinance violation?
The
What
correct
violation?
violation, right? So the list that we have on our city website with all the different city ordinance violations that we have. If you're gonna issue a notice of city ordinance violation, we need to have the correct city ordinance violation listed on there.
It was to basically inform him that he needs to remove the road-based material out of the right of way. Simple and plain. Mark.
So she's saying she didn't put an ordinance violation on there, you're saying that you expect
Okay.
her to put an ordinance violation.
Can we table this discussion, because
It-
we're pretty well.
Yes,
far
we
out.
do, yeah, we do need to get somewhere in
Let's
terms
go.
of making sure we're making progress on that, but, thank you. All right, so moving on to agenda item 8, animal control updates, announcements, and presentation of monthly reports from ACO Cunningham with possible discussions and our actions. And again, no need to read all the numbers on here. I assume this is getting posted on your ACO website, just any, updates, information outside of these numbers that we need to present now.
Okay, so, the first thing I want to update y'all on is, good news. Austin Pets Alive, they've been tracking us for, a little half the year now. And we are in the 93 percentile of no kill, which means that we are a no kill animal control facility, which is very, very hard to do. And, me and Cassandra have done a very good job doing it. I'm very proud of that. I think that
What does that mean, though, for us
and
that we're no
so
kill?
that means that there's a certain number that you have to hit. I believe it's 90.
But reaching out, does that give us more services from them or more?
No, it's just that we are part of the no kill group.
We're now considered.
We are now
that group.
considered no
Okay.
kill animals.
That's not an official designation, it's generally accepted within the animal
Right.
welfare index.
So Austin Pets
93%.
Alive considered as a no-kill animal control office. Okay.
So the Best Friends Society, which is the ones that gave us the grant to go to Canada, to go to, I wish I'd say.
California.
To go to California, thank you.
Mhm.
They are the ones who are also tracking that information, and they're the ones who have partnered us with Austin Pets Alive. So they're kind of the facilitator between us and Austin Pets Alive, and Austin Pets Alive pulls the dogs from us, along with the other rescues. So we give them our monthly numbers as far as how many dogs have left the shelter, how many dogs are being euthanized, and it's just like a general gathering of information that they do for all the shelters that they, facilitate with, transfers and stuff between. So with that information, they're able to go across the United States and say, this place became no kill, this place became no kill with our efforts, and you can fall back down and become, not 93%, but
it is a very big accomplishment to reach those numbers, and we've been consistently at 93%. So, that's a big accomplishment. Another thing that I would like to, I guess, say on here, that I didn't put on here, is, I have on the 5th, we had 10 dogs come in. We had 10 dogs at that time.
5 August? On the 5th of August?
Yes, we picked on Monday. We started coming in a little bit earlier because of school schedule. We picked up 5 dogs on Monday morning. And then we picked up 1 today. So we had a lot of dogs in the facility. I'm actually very surprised that we had everybody come and pick up those dogs. Yes, so that was very encouraging. Our system's kind of working. So, that was nice to know the others actually came. Something else that I would like to bring up, I don't know if y'all are able to discuss it today. I would like to possibly add in a failure to reclaim, fee into the ordinance.
Actually, ma'am, if they fail to reclaim, it's, abandonment, and that isn't a violation.
I would like it to be more specifically stated in there. Abandonment can be the cruelty side of it. But I would like for it to be if they failure to reclaim from us. This is a specific fee for that, because it's happening where I pick up a dog from somebody and that dog's been there and I know that's their dog. It's not necessarily a cruelty abandonment.
Abandonment's not necessarily cruelty. It's
It's
abandonment means.
Ms. Ortiz, by legal definition, is, Mr. Fellinger correct? Abandonment is failing to pick it up as well, yeah?
I think we just got like the definition of abandonment and whether just not picking it up would meet the terms, and it was more of a cruelty side, but I was thinking of more of a surrender. Is there a surrender fee?
There is a
we charge
surrender
if-
fee, but it's not.
Even if they don't volunteer.
Yeah, we used to have if you did not take if you owned a dog and you were contacted, we have your dog. And every day that you did not pick up your dog, it was like a $50 fine.
Is it a fine or is that just the cost of keeping your dog in the facility? Is there a charge per day for having a dog?
There's
That
a
was the charge
$15
per day.
There's a $15 charge per day that they're not picking up their dog. 15. But no, the problem is, after 3 days, it becomes a city's dog. So if I can only charge them up to 3 days, which is only $45.
That's right.
So that's where I'm wanting to specifically state, if you fail to reclaim your dog that I picked up from your property and it's your dog that's been there, we've already given you a warning about this dog.
Okay, so I would suggest then that we bring this back to council as a conversation in terms of the animal control ordinance, so we can look at the different options, the way we've done it in the past. So I think this could lead to a lengthy conversation, looking at it. What is the legal definition of abandoned?
We're
What do we
looking
can-
at the legal definition. Now we can get a reading.
But, failure to include, to provide shelter. For more than 24 hours. Possibly, and then, but. So if we fall under that, where they're failing to provide shelter to the end. That may be how to, prosecute the event.
So abandoned doesn't have to be cruelty, as Alderman Bellinger was saying, it can be failure to provide shelter, in which case that's why you had it. They can't argue that they're providing it shelter by letting it stay in the animal control facility, can they?
They always say that it's just, I'm not coming to get it, and there's no real
I'm having a hard time giving them the recourse of, well, you know, you failed to come and get your dog. Because when I say you abandoned it, well, you picked it up.
Yeah.
I didn't abandon my dog, you picked it up. So
Yeah.
it's giving me, it's
The running loose fee, there we go, that's $380 there.
It's just causing me a little bit of an issue when I'm speaking to them, so I would like to more clearly define. And then, I also wanted to, possibly include a time frame
Okay.
for them to report straight.
Let me. I don't think we're disagreeing with you, but I think you should possibly talk to the mayor about bringing it to the attorney.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna send that to him in my notes.
Okay.
That this is a
But
concern that you have.
You follow up with the mayor and say, look, here's what the ordinance is, here's what I think it should say. And work at it that way.
Okay.
And then figure out whether we need to bring it, the mayor can figure out based on that, whether or not we need to bring it back for discussion, because I don't think we're gonna get a resolution on that here now.
Oh, no, I just wanted to bring it.
So, right, and although we've had multiple ways we've done it in the past, it could be abandonment, I don't know. So,
I would also like to,
Maybe we come up with an involuntary surrender fee of $500.
it's already on there.
Mhm.
No, there is
Oh.
a,
Yeah, so that's what we need
there
to
is a
decide.
surrender fee. We can add an involuntary surrender, which is, you didn't bring it to us, we picked it up, but you're surrendering it to the city. Yeah.
I would also like to, just bring it up, reporting a stray. So a lot of times I will, just this week, actually on Monday, we had a gentleman say, that's not my dog, that's a stray dog. I said, sir, how long has this dog been here, this stray dog that you're saying is not yours? Oh, it's been here for 5 years. So I'm like, okay.
He has it on his property?
Yes. I said, okay, sir, well, that is,
Water available.
that is your
State law,
dog.
that's his dog. By
so-
ordinance, that's his dog.
I would like to request possibly putting a timeline on reporting a stray dog. Just for clarity for the citizens. So that way when I go to them, you know, how long has this dog been here? Oh, 5 years.
Okay, well, Alderman Fillinger saying that he thinks that it's in the ordinance already, that if you're giving that dog food and water, then it's not a stray, but, so this will bring something up every now and then.
Allowing it to remain on your
It's
property.
Texas state law?
There is.
That's
Yeah.
his state
Yeah.
law.
If you feed it, but I'm talking about allowing it to stay on your property. So I'm not talking about feeding and watering. I'm talking about if there's a dog that somebody threw in your yard and you're not feeding it, but you're allowing it to stay.
Then it's
You
move
did
it to
call-
the next guy's
Is
yard.
it-
If you're not feeding it, it's
Is-
moving away.
Is there any time frame that we can give them though? Like, if you're not calling and reporting this dog after this many days, it's gonna be yours. It's gonna be your dog.
All right, again, follow up with the ordinance and the mayor, but I'll definitely let the mayor know as well as a concern about item, that you brought up.
And then also, possibly a litter fine for having a litter. It's been done in other cities. Where there's a fine, there's a fine for not being spayed and neutered, but not for having a litter.
Read it again because they're only allowed one litter per year.
It's in
It's
there.
in there.
What's the?
But one litter per year, she's saying any litter at all.
Any litter at all, if the dogs are.
Why are
supposed
we
to all
allowing
be-
them to have one litter a
they're
year?
supposed to be staying
Well,
there.
it is what
Yeah, they're all required. to
we're
be
not
staying
allowed.
there.
It should be able to have one. And violation of the law in that place, well, because your dog is spayed or neutered, that's a violation.
And if you have one litter, then it's, you don't have breeders.
Right, you agree with that.
You know, breeders.
I mean, that's all.
So how would I mean,
I'm gonna point these out to the mayor and ask him to discuss them with you based on what's in the ordinance and which things should be brought back for further discussion.
Okay.
So that way he can have that conversation as the city administrator.
I did. I don't know if y'all were able to receive that, I did. get some numbers on the facility and stuff. Is that something I would like to talk about now?
It was,
I'd like to do that to the next meeting, ma'am. It's 9:30 and we're on,
It's, where is it? Hold on.
we're on that repairs.
Yeah, it is an agenda item, so.
Just for repair.
It's for the repairs and all the, this that I did get. For the, possible new construction versus the pricing on these repairs.
Okay.
Excuse me. Does the cost of repairs exceed your budget in total?
I did not listen to that. I'll try to, I believe
Well,
it's pretty close.
If it doesn't exceed your budget, the mayor can authorize it without bringing it down.
I'm not, yeah, it definitely exceeds the budget for repairs.
You've only got, another
Then,
month or so left. Month and a half.
so please ask the mayor to add, I add that as an agenda item on our next.
It's already on our agenda.
It
It is?
should be in.
It is. So, all right. I did have a question about your report. Okay. So, and I only asked this because we just updated the animal control ordinance. It says that you picked up an injured or dead animal. I'm assuming it was a dead animal that you picked up. It says a stray. Injured, dead animal pickup.
Yes.
You picked up one. So was that a wild animal or was that actually a stray?
No, it was a stray,
It was a stray.
I
And
believe it was a cat.
public property or private
It
property?
was in the middle of the street.
It was in the middle of the street. Okay, so it was okay, just making sure you're not picking up dead animals off of private property. So if we redid that ordinance, so you
No.
don't have to go do that anymore.
No, it was, on the shoulder.
Right.
And I do have, I have 3 dogs from Canada with a new rescue buddy.
Oh, nice, another new partner.
And another one in Canada, so they took really good care of that. That's pretty good.
Anyone else have any questions? No one can talk? So, we do have 2 other agendas, but. Okay. I lost my agenda. I'm shoving stuff around. Here we go. Then item 9, police department updates, announcements, and presentation of monthly reports from Chief Juarez with possible discussion and our action. Chief, we have your report and your numbers. Do you have anything to report, besides our numbers that we have?
Just besides the numbers, the only new stuff I have is, we just received an email. The department is 100% NIBRS compliant. It never has been, and we are now. We also utilized the Texas Rangers this past month to help us with a case. In doing so, we made an arrest for sexual assault and solicitation of a minor and several other offenses, as well as located a missing juvenile in New Braunfels. And then the candidate that we interviewed is in the final process of the application process, already completed the psychological exam, but we are in the final phases of that. So that's all I have for new business. And if y'all don't have any, go.
So you're in the process of hiring an officer?
Yeah, we had the interview
But was
and
this brought to the council? Has the council seen the resume? Have we approved the hiring of this individual? I know.
No, ma'am,
So you do all this before we make. the
Right,
decision?
right, so
we
it's
have
about,
a board. Okay.
I just want to make sure that all this work that he's doing is before that they go through all that, even if we're not gonna hire him.
yeah, we have to do the
Okay.
background check, all of that stuff prior to you guys.
Making the decision. Okay, I was just confused. I didn't know how much you did
No,
before.
that's why I say it's just the process, the
Okay,
hiring.
so you mentioned getting a runaway in New Braunfels. I see in your report that you actually had 3 runaways. Were we not able to recover the others?
They were, but I'm
Okay.
saying the one with the Texas Rangers, that one we recovered in New Braunfels, and that was our sexual assault victim.
Oh, very, okay, so,
But all the runaways were recovered, yeah.
okay. Is, who's Officer Garza? I thought it was Palomar, Porsche, and Perez,
That would be Fred Garza.
Fred Garza, so what, I got his last name wrong.
And it's Perez. I don't know why I put Garza there. Correct.
It's, that is.
It is Perez.
Okay,
I don't know where I got Garza from.
okay. Can we break out the list of, for the traffic stops and closed cases, so we know like who's doing what? I mean, we lump them all together. Why is the purpose of listing names if you're just gonna lump them all together?
Well, I thought, I don't know, we went through this last time and you guys said it was okay to have it like that. But if you want, I can go through and break down who did what and how many. I don't have the tally with me on who
And
did
then for
exactly.
this, because it's changed for the next report, yeah, if you could break out the closed cases and traffic stops by officer.
So as far as closed cases go, I'm sorry to interrupt you, it's only gonna be, the lieutenant and myself, right? So, the officers don't close cases as far
Right,
as
yeah, but then
investigations.
break it out, how many he closed, how many you closed, just when we're doing evaluations later on, just to have the numbers and information associated with that. Any questions on the cost for service? In terms of the city ordinance violations, I had a question, I had a couple citizens ask me about this. Are we doing anything about pools, specifically pools in the front yard? Is a clear violation of our city ordinance, especially when you think about that 2-year-old that was wandering the street. I don't know how close he was to the pools that are in the front yard, but had he found one, it would have been a totally different story. So is this something that the officers are tracking, that having a pool in the front yard unprotected even anywhere is a violation of our city ordinance and something that we should consider doing something about?
Right, so that may be under the accumulation of garbage, trash, brush, et cetera violations. When I put that et cetera there, it kind of covers the et cetera portion of that. I'd have to go through each and every violation that they wrote manually to try and find out what they wrote for, but I haven't
We
done
can
that.
just make sure they're educated and aware of our pool ordinance, because I know not,
Here's the truth, chief, I see pools going in, you don't see them going away.
yeah,
Right.
and
Yeah,
have we
and-
got any permit applications for a pool? So every pool in this town is illegal. It's in violation of our city
Right.
ordinance.
Unless you're grateful.
Front,
I am.
front yard, front yard, the only thing they can have is a children's wading pool by ordinance. And they have to empty that at night. And the concern is we got a lot of kids out here running around after dark. Gonna last for a while yet.
And I just know we have a lot of ordinance. I just ask that we make sure our officers are tracking all of these rules associated with that particular ordinance for the safety of our children.
Right.
That 2-year-old story could have turned out so different.
I get it. Get it. I would strongly recommend looking into trying to hire a code enforcement officer.
We did mention that to the mayor this morning, or earlier this meeting when we were talking about, the budget for next year.
Right.
And he said that he's been in conversation with you about that.
Right.
So absolutely, that will continue as we talk about, the budget in the future. It is a concern that the council has expressed as well.
I'm ready to say we just quit passing ordinance.
All
Because
right, moving on to our next item, unless you all have a question for the police department. All right, thank you, Chief. Moving on, updates, Parks and Rec, updates and announcements from Park Advisory Committee Chair Fillinger with possible discussion and our action.
yeah, we have a couple of projects underway. And our next meeting will be September 2nd at 5 p.m. It is reported.
at 5 p.m.?
Yeah.
Any questions for the Park Advisory Committee? All right. Moving on, item 11, unfinished business. Discuss and or possible action on amending the personnel policy manual. So, I don't think we should dig into that today, except for the fact that we have an additional document, actually in the binder separate from the personnel policy from the chief. He's asking for incentive pay, nighttime differential pay, sex offender registration officer incentive pay, and mental health officer incentive pay. So these are items that we can add to the add to the personnel policy.
All those items. Well, budget officer. The mayor, the administrators, so that those numbers are figured into the budget. And now we're already talking about trying to rob this one to that one to get a code enforcement officer, excuse me. But adding more cost without having it already in the budget, it's
Absolutely.
gonna make things more difficult. So those things need to be brought up to the mayor and figured into the budget. So he's got more work to do on the budget, but some additional expenses.
I will point this out to the mayor
Disagreeing with
and make sure that he is taking this into consideration when calculating his budget for the next fiscal year. I'll bring that up before we discuss that. The personnel policy, last time I presented it and explained all the documents that we have, the mayor emailed it out to you. We do need to go back and start looking at them again. Those items highlighted in yellow are the topics that we need to discuss. Alderman Fillinger, you weren't present at the last meeting, but you did receive the email with a summary of that conversation. Did you have any questions about that we can discuss now and address? All right, so again, I would just remind folks, please take a look at that, bring back any concerns you have with the recommended edits we have and prepare to discuss those topics that are highlighted, but we won't bring that up today in the interest of time, but we will continue that conversation at our next meeting. The next item, discussing our item 11C, discussing our possible action on additional streetlights in San Diego based on the map provided by CPS Energy. I won't make this assumption, but I'm going to ask, did anyone receive an email from the mayor with a picture of that image without the push pins in it?
Move to postpone until the next regular meeting, ma'am.
So I will take that picture and send it to the mayor and suggest that he send that out so that we can have this conversation in the future. So the motion from Alderman Fillinger, do I have a second? Do we need that? So a motion from Alderman Fillinger with a second from Alderman Tremblay to table that until the next regular meeting.
Postpone, ma'am.
Postpone, excuse me, until the next regular meeting. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion passes. We will postpone it until the next meeting and I will send the mayor a picture before I leave this evening and ask him to send it out to the council. The next item D, we're gonna skip over as well. This is not something that I can discuss with. It needs to be included in the budget and the mayor also hasn't brought us back the additional quotes because we asked for other folks that provide that service. So we need to get the mayor to come back and address that. The next item on the agenda, item D, discussing our possible actions on ordinance 2021-181 Citizen Complaint Review Board. Alderwoman Walker, you were going to look into that and see, confirm how many members we have, whether we have the information for Mr. McNeil, where we at.
Mr. McNeil and myself. We have Mr. McNeil, Mr. Gilman, and Ms. Harvey, and also I'm gonna throw a name out there who has already agreed, and that's Ann Barger. Has agreed to be on the budget. If we still needed people in CCLG, that would be like work. Is there someone, anybody is thinking?
Any other?
Mr. Prickmer is on there.
Is that the last person that we would need?
So Ms. Harvey has offered to be on it.
Ms. Wanda Harvey?
I think so.
So she's not on it now, so that would be another addition. So Mr. McNeil,
That would be 5 people. So let this council think about it. Is it Mr. Prickmer? Correct. Yeah, and we already discussed that.
if he gets in, yeah, he would have to be replaced. But that's fine, but he's still on there for now, so. are we need to make a motion to put somebody on that board, is that correct?
Or do we? Already discussed Mr. McNeil, we've already discussed Ms. Harvey in the last meeting we had. Mr. Krichner's already on it, and so is Mr. Jones. So if Mr. Krichner gets elected,
That's
looks
much
like
now.
he dropped
Right now,
down.
are we good?
I think we're good.
So we have everybody we need.
That's cool.
You're the alder person for it. So we don't need any motion associated with this? Do we need,
We don't.
we don't list them in the ordinance or anything like that?
No.
No, we just make sure the chief has all the information to do the background check, and as the alder person on that committee, you're gonna make sure that that happens?
I need to get a copy of the NBA forms, and I need to get a copy in a file cabinet somewhere. There is a paper that provides all the information that I would get to the chief, have them fill out, and give to the chief to do the background.
So the only thing left for this then is the chief to confirm to us that everyone passed their background check and they're good to go on the council.
Get it in the paperwork and give them that,
Okay?
so
So,
that's fine.
okay, so no further discussion then until we get the background checks and then chief provide us an update on how that progresses.
Correct.
Thank you. All right, discuss and our possible action on ordinance 2023-220 Animal Shelter Advisory Committee. So where we're at with that one is, the mayor was going to talk to, Cassandra about being the animal, facility rep. Do you know if that happened?
I don't know where.
All right, then we'll ask the mayor about that later. The other was you were going to talk to, you were gonna see if you come up with an idea for the welfare, the animal welfare organization.
Oh,
Okay, then, we'll just come back to that one and we'll just, move on past that one. Then there's no new information because all the other work was supposed to be done by the mayor except for that one piece from you. That's why I was going to ask you. Item G, we're not gonna look at either because that's related to the previous one. Discussing our possible action regarding a special election to submit the propositions regarding the withdrawal of the city of Sandy Oaks from the Via Metropolitan Transit Authority and related taxes. Now, we received a briefing from Via earlier today. What discussion do we want to have on that?
I moved that we do not. Withdraw. Negating the need for a special election.
All right, I have a motion from Alderman Fillinger. Do I have a second? I have a motion from Alderman Fillinger with a second from Alderman Tremblay to not withdraw from via negating the need for a special election. Any additional conversation on that? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? All right, that motion passes, but we will not withdraw from the Via Metropolitan Transit Authority, and we will not have a special election. Let's see. Item 12, National Night Out. That was Tuesday. Discussing our possible action on National Night Out to be held on Tuesday, October 7th, 2025. That one is the Mayor Martinez. We will skip that because I have no information on that. Other than the mayor said he was gonna ask the chief to run that. So we will wait for the mayor to be able to discuss that and hear what, if anything, the chief has planned for that, because that is on him. Item G, discuss and our possible action on request for submission of applications for the performance of depository services to the city. Do we need a fee cutoff date? You were gonna look that up.
So the mayor mentioned that.
So, no, you were gonna look up.
Oh, what, no more than 20 minutes. So, what is it? Whatever deadline we want, whatever company we need. Give a deadline, we know next Wednesday. Next Wednesday was a doesn't county years, to be held in the 20th of Wind it up.
So it's already gone out. So the discussion on this is, as you can see, you have this large book from Frost Bank. However, this seems to be the only one that we've received, and there may have been some issues with the email associated with that. So the recommendation, the RFP did indicate that we were going to discuss it at this meeting. So we are going to discuss it in the fact that, I think we need to allow more time for folks to provide us RFP and then review them at the next, regular council meeting, which is the 28th of August, just to give a little bit more time for additional RFPs instead of just going with this one because there were some complications with the email or the date or something that was posted according to the conversation with the mayor and the city attorney. Does that make sense?
Were there inquiries that needed clarification?
I don't know, I just know there was either an issue with what was sent or what was received, I don't know.
No, the mayor just said that there was an issue, but we couldn't ignore it and not have it on the agenda for today because the RFP stated it would be on the agenda for today. So we are discussing it, it's on the agenda, so we're clear there as far as the RFP, but the recommendation is that we send the RFP back out again and then bring this back to the meeting, the next regular schedule.
So the ad did not get posted in Wilson County News that following Wednesday because we didn't get it. I mean, they didn't get the email to get it on that Wednesday, but it's already in the paper. It's been in the paper for 2 weeks now. Well, since,
Oh, so
yeah.
for the meeting today.
Yeah, it's been, but it's real, I know it's still, I think we're still missing the 21 days. Not,
No, that was not, well, because then it did give a deadline of August 6th. So did we just didn't receive?
yeah, we
applications?
didn't receive anything. The only
So-
thing we received was prospect.
I think it was prospect. So-
Yeah, I mean, it's been out there for.
So- This was something that I don't feel as the mayor pro tem comfortable leaving as something the mayor was working. So for that fact alone, I don't think we should make any decision based on this binder here, but we had to have it in the meeting based on the RFP that was posted. So what is our,
Is that a motion, man?
so
Move to postpone until our next regular business meeting.
I'll second that motion. So we have a motion from Alderman Fillinger with a second from Mayor Pro Tem Madero to,
Recommend everybody take this encyclopedia home and look through it.
or do we want to leave it for the secretary to make sure everybody has it for the next time? Anyway, the motion is to postpone discussion on the RFP for application for the performance of depository services to the city to the next regular scheduled city council meeting, which will be the 28th of August. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion passes. We'll bring this back up next time. H goes along with that one, so I would say that we're just gonna skip that one. Discussing our possible actions on quotes for animal control, shelter repair, or new facility.
There is no new deadline or very new deadline for applicants to submit.
We don't know the reason why the mayor didn't want to have this at this meeting, so I don't know that, I'm not comfortable doing a new deadline. At this point, we just need to delay it, and if the mayor gets more RFPs, then he gets more RFPs, then he can decide how to deal with it at the next meeting. The discussion is just to postpone it.
Okay.
Because we don't have sufficient information to make any other motion. All right. Discussing our possible action on quotes for animal control shelter repair or new facility. With that, I will turn it over.
We did, talk about doing the repairs versus the facility. I've been trying to get with Ashley, get some quotes, and the problem is getting contractors. I don't know anything else we do out there, trying to get contractors if we're not doing. And I think all in Challenger asked the question if she was, in the budget. I see what she does. There's money that'll be left over, I mean, for operations. But I'm looking at all the quotes she has, they exceed what she would have in the budget. Trying to get some money moved over there before the year ends, so we can get it allocated, or she can use it. If not, this month, next month, at least the money will be allocated.
Good.
She has quotes, but they're all
exceeds what.
Right, but if you look at the budget, there's money that the mayor might be able to move around. Can we see what the quotes are? and Maybe make a decision on the quotes that are there? Is that not something that we should do at this point? And then just say if the mayor can find the money somewhere in the budget?
We need to, what would be the
What-
first choice as far as the priority? I
What-
would say,
Yeah,
you know.
her top two recommendations out of what she's received, I would say.
Yeah, just trying to move forward with.
And then like
something,
rules
not just let
according to
people
how much
down
it costs.
hill.
There's rules based on how much these quotes are and how many we have to. So I'm gonna look for you for that one.
Do you mean like the new building quotes versus the?
No, out of everything you have right there, what would you recommend the course of action? What are your top two choices for the way to pursue? Whether it's two repairs, two replacements, what are your recommendations based on your knowledge of the facility and your review of all of those quotes?
I'm gonna put a number on it.
So on here, fixing the kennels is gonna cost, for one company just to repair, and that's not even fixing it completely the way it needs to be done. That would be patching it. The first quote I got was $19,334. The second quote was $25,975. I did request, had two other companies come in. Neither one of them sent me a quote.
Both of those are for repairing.
Repairing the existing structure.
We're not repairing it to the level that you think it needs.
Exactly. And then I had another, company say, you know, they spoke with their manager and they didn't see any way to seal the flooring, and if I found someone, basically good luck and let them know. Because they'd like to know how to do it.
Right.
To get a new structure, the structure itself, the first one that I used a online building from a local builder, like a barn type structure. The first one was 15,765
For a whole new structure?
for a whole new structure.
For how many years?
That I did not put in kennels in that.
So that's just the building.
That's just the structure. That's a 30 by 45 by 9 foot tall. Structure.
30 by.
30 by 45 by 9. I also did a quote for I was just trying to make some quotes to give to y'all so that y'all have new build versus this. A 62 by 40 by 9 feet, with, awnings, not awnings, but like extra rooms. Total for that was 42,945. And then there was another one that I did, 40 by 60 with 12-foot tall ceilings. Again, just preliminary messing around with the building, 3D builder, was 37,663.
I would say 12 feet tall just gives us more space to heat or cool.
Do those include slabs?
The slab can be added on. I didn't because I didn't know if that's what y'all on.
So that is just the building. It doesn't include a slab and it doesn't include the tunnel.
I think one of them did include the slab. I'm not sure. It's got a lot of items on here, so I would.
So what about the cost of adding the kennels?
So I did find a kennel system. It would negate the need for drains. The kennel system is they're 4x8. The size of the kennels are 4x8. They're back-to-back folding kennels, and what they are is, I'll show you a picture. They look like this, and each one of these is a kennel. They're back-to-back, so you have this one and you have the one back here. That gives us the guillotine door or the transfer doors. I've tried looking at a lot of other facilities. We actually toured Converse, and at all the facilities that I've been to, they all said those transfer doors are non-negotiable for them. Because when you're dealing with a dangerous dog that's never been on a leash, you need those transfer doors to get that dog to the other side to safely clean that area.
Yeah.
Where you're not having to pull this dog out. They're 4x8. They give you a option to have that transfer door, and they There are 5 kennels, but it actually would turn into 10. If we had dogs that are not dangerous, it would turn into one solid kennel where we can move the dog, and it would be 10 usable kennels if we had to.
But that's just your kennels that we would need the building to put those in?
Exactly. I did get a quote for,
How
turning,
much is that?
these kennels are $10,646, but they negate the need for drains.
Okay, but how do you handle waste with that?
So the waste actually goes into a remote drain. The bases are slanted and the water comes down. The urine water goes down into the drain and it doesn't pump, but it connects to your existing septic. So we could potentially utilize the electric, septic and, water that we already have. My recommendation would be to remove those slabs that are out there currently and have one big building place so that we could utilize what we already have.
Those don't have floor, have a swear. That one,
This goes on to any,
we work on with that.
you can put it on concrete. It's made for kennels that are not, it's made for spaces that are not traditionally designed for kennels. You can even connect this to a wet vac and pump it to a drain or septic. So it was actually a very interesting, system. I also was looking into these. They're called pods. And what it is, it doesn't have the necessary transfer door back to back, but it does have them side to side. And I was looking into, those are the same thing. They have the drain that connects. They look like this, but there's transfer doors on the side. They do have a similar setup in Converse where they have their side to side transfer doors for their site quarantine. So that would be a good option for a rabies quarantine dog that has hit somebody. That would allow us to become a rabies quarantine facility, which would also allow us to charge people to have quarantine their dogs here.
That's what are the requirements?
I'm sorry?
Requirements based on the dollar amount of this, but you use this like that. Readily.
No, I'm envisioning we could do this in that existing building.
But do we need to get a certain number of quotes based on the dollar amount?
Not
Usually,
$10,000.
no, not for that amount. I don't know what the dollar amounts are, but Charles is usually, all of the villages usually knows. If it's over this amount, you need X number of quotes.
It's only 49,900.
All right, then we're good. That's what I wanted to know, sir. Thank you.
So I did
You
have,
have to publish for quote,
Okay,
okay, the tradition is if they go over $10,000, we want to see 3 quotes on.
yeah.
That's not written in stone because sometimes it's really hard to get a quote out. My thought is we could use either of those kennel systems in this existing building. Okay, as an interim measure. Just by pumping it into the existing septic system.
Are you talking about the building that the tunnels are currently in?
You know, when you say existing building,
This one out here that has the stainless steel tank.
the 10 building?
Yeah, the 10 building.
I did get a quote to insulate that building and, the only problem that I did see with that building, this particular building, because that was my original plan was, well, let's get a little septic, put it in that building and, you know, we have 2 areas where we could put dogs. But the only problem with that building is it is only a 24 by 20 building. Those kennels, once you have them all together, are right at the wall and there would be no room, unfortunately, to put it in, to put that specific kennel into that building. So we would have to go with a much smaller scale. And they, for some reason, this 10 or, this specific one that's 5 kennels, costs a whole lot less than getting one that's just 4 or, that's just 2. I don't understand why, It's the exact same thing, it's just less kennels, but it costs more. So that was an issue that I was trying to figure out how, you know, how do we utilize this barn? I was having a very hard time, but I did get a quote for fixing that as well, and, um, so for them to install a septic, I did get a quote for that, it was 8,500.
Well, we already have a septic answer then.
Not on this side, it's
We don't need one
downhill,
on that side.
it's downhill,
So, you can, all you have to do is collect into a cistern, put a trash pump on it, and pump it to the existing one. We can do that all above ground. I've had a lot of crap in my life.
So all these budgets you've mentioned, it's gonna be a combination of them to make this work, and that's we go with one of the first two you cited, which were to partially repair the existing facility, is that correct?
But, quite honestly, at this point, every time we put in that facility, it's throwing away money. If we spend, what did it cost in the first, like $40,000? We spent $20,000 to patch it back together, and how long is that gonna last? And does it address all of the issues that we're having with it?
It doesn't, design is there, but we can get a 30 by 45 by 9 foot tall structure for just under 16,000. Will that structure accommodate the kennel system that you discussed?
the larger one, I do, the 30 by 40 pound.
Yeah.
I think that would be,
But then you're still talking about concrete, 7 by flat, you've got electrical.
But does that kennel have to be set on the slab?
so this kennel, which, I did have a video to send y'all, but I didn't get a chance to, all of the stuff was actually done within the last 3 days before it had to be turned in. I was laying on the floor. So it can even be, I want to say we can set it on like base.
Road
but-
base.
Yes,
Like
but
this one, they brought it in and they dropped it there, and or there, it's all intact. It's just gonna be the same.
they do have an option to make a slab and put that building on top of it. I did not add it on there.
Oh, yeah, that 30 by 40 by 9, they come with the floor.
No, it's just, it's like a comfort kind of building, but it will sit, they have an option to add the slab underneath. Is it insulated? It is not insulated, no. It would be an insulation. Yes. So there's where the issues lie. You can utilize the existing slabs and pour in between them the cement. The only problem is out here, the existing slabs, they're already shifting, so some of them are higher than the others, and that's one of the reasons this building needs to be leveled. Because they're like about this far off from each other. And then this big one where the little barn is, the same issue. They're not, it's gonna be a lot to connect. My original idea was to move that barn, that animal facility off of that slab, fill in the grassy area with cement, you know, make it flat, make it all one big slab. And have the size of it, that's what that original, the 16 by whatever size that building is.
I'll throw another monkey wrench in there, but, you know, we're gonna start adding on to the facility, we're putting a larger facility. Facility actually needs to be down in the park, that needs to be back. Right there. We're gonna put
We
a
actually,
larger facility, we're gonna put a larger building.
we actually had a complaint, of a quarantine dog that we had. He just went home yesterday, that he was howling all day and all night. Cause he did not want to be so busy. He had water, he had food, he just was howling for his person. And
Here?
yes, and so, a person called and was, you know, complaining that he was howling all day and all night long. And actually thought that we had, been abusing the dog.
So you're
So
saying
we
that
couldn't
maybe
figure
somewhere
that out.
like in the middle of the park where they do that big burn pile, construct a brand new facility with a fenced area and.
Well, I don't speak down there.
Next to the impound lot.
That's actually.
You gotta
Yeah.
have, with
Over here somewhere, but.
maintaining an animal that howls all night is against the city ordinance.
That's right.
We're gonna have to cite you.
Yeah.
So excessive noise.
So based on the quotes to repair this, I don't, as Alderman Bellinger pointed out, I don't think that's a good investment and we need to get a full quote that includes a building, the kennel, the slab, the electricity, the septic, whatever it is we need to make the facility work. Because if we're gonna put it in the park, we're gonna need to add septic, electricity, there's gonna be a lot more expenses to it.
Do we have any restriction on combining or piecing purchases together? In the federal government, you can't buy something, knowing that you need this big, but you buy those, I'll budget it now and then, while we get funds in October, and I'll buy the other part, it's.
They consider, law considers piecing things together when they projects, but as of September first, that threshold is like 100,000, 50,000 to 100,000. So you'll have a little more flexibility on that day. The bidding threshold.
Very good. Well, I appreciate your numbers, I just don't, it's hard to get it.
If there's
It's
one
hard to
thing
get it
that I would
figured out.
request we do now, out of anything, one thing that I would request that we do now is add a step, at the corner, so it, for the money that's allocated for animal control repairs, is fixed. Put a step up from where we walk into the gate over here, and a step up into the actual facility.
I would say that's probably totally within your discretionary function, you should have a conversation with the mayor about that.
Do that, I mean, you can ramp, that would probably be
A
better.
ramp, a step, anything, something that we. can
Yeah,
step
I
up on.
think the mayor can just do that without even coming to us. Yes, no, maybe.
I think you, if public works won't install you around, I think you should call a local contractor and get a price. Make sure they have insurance, and if it's in your budget, just do it.
Yeah, ramp, that's easy.
Yeah, they put a little ramp thing going into the community center when they level
I
them.
mean, I really wanna do something to get you going, but I just don't, I don't like the idea of buying a partial building that we spoke, and I have to dump a bunch of money on concrete, electrical installation.
So she's going to get quotes. How can we help her get folks that can come out here and give her a quote to do the whole project?
That's the problem. I don't know how to do that is.
Well, to be honest, I don't think we can do that one step anything. We don't have $100,000 for the proper.
I know we don't.
Animal control. You know, if we're talking about $20,000, okay, but I don't want to put $20,000 with repair in that facility because it's total waste. If we can spread road base, buy two of those $10,000 kennels and make that do while we prepare a plan for, you know, under $30,000, then I think we ought to do that.
As long as we can reutilize that.
I think you put road base down, they're gonna dig out
No, the kennels are enclosed.
the floors.
They're raised off.
Yeah, they're floored.
That's why I was asking if they had floors.
Yes, they do.
They do have
The
floors.
building itself, the structure itself, the kennel. That was one of the reasons I had proposed adding cement to the slab that's already there. Because then you would cut your cost tremendously. You would only need a space about this big with cement, to connect all of those three together. And those kennels could fit on top of those and just build a structure around it temporarily until funds are found, that would be able to get us through, and that would still allow us to have the water, the septic, the electric, all there, utilizing the same space that we already have, just moving the building that's there to a different location and utilizing those kennels, making it big enough to where we could get two of them. That was the only thing that where I was trying to say, no, that could be good.
If that's your recommendation, put those numbers together and bring it back to us. I do like the idea of, let's move this over to the side. And we then have an option of, do we turn that building into a cattery? Do we make it the puppy palace? Because for puppies or cats, that would be a great facility. You know, but when you're talking about, 80-pound vicious animals, and I'm not saying pit bulls, I know lots of others don't pit bulls.
And that's what it.
You got an 80-pound vicious animal, they will actually eat things if you give them that. Okay, that said, but I like the kennels.
So the council is in agreement that doing the repairs is not going correctly. So,
Okay, I think we have to have a cover over those kennels. Long term, we have to have climate control, but. Yeah, we did.
I think that would be, the cheapest solution, because rarely.
what would be the cheapest solution?
Putting cement there, putting the structure over the cement that's already there. And, utilizing it already.
So how much do you have, how much information do you have to compile that quote? Do you still need to get some additional information to give us the cost of that?
I would need to get, insulation quote to insulate the building, the cost for the cement and the, I already have the price for the kennels, but I would need the price, for the air conditioning to make it functional.
We can't do anything without them.
Bring that back to us.
I will try.
We need to move it because we only got, it might be an hour.
So that's just it, she's having difficulty finding folks. I did find some website that listed contractors that she could call. It was I forget what that website was called. And even those that she called, not all of them came out. So do we know any licensed and even on licensed and insured contractors in town that might be able to, I always see pour concrete, bring in road bid.
General contractors do not need to be licensed, they need to be insured.
Insured, okay. So, the Citizens County Justice Council, which we're talking to. So,
In other words, what are you trying to say? And they can hear you, tell me. Tell me.
Let's go.
Say it out loud. No, say it, they can hear
so, but,
you.
Okay, I went to Metal Mark one time, Metal Mark. Number together, move to adjourn. Give me 3 contractors.
We are adjourned at 10:10.
I wish to metal more.
Sir, do not invite that man to submit a Class B misdemeanor.
Oh, I
And
thought
a
that's what she
council
was
meeting.
trying to, I thought that's
No.
what she was saying to do.
But he can come over and talk to you as he's done. in the past.
Oh, I thought you were saying like, talk to the chief so you could hear them.
Because guys have stepped out and he's spoken with you
Ah.
because